Welcome back. This is Akinar here with more blueprints. Let's get day 37 underway, shall we? Day 36, another fun draft. Our big accomplishment was the clock tower. We finally got a solution. We finally figured out the sacred hour and got our hands on a sanctum key. And we used that occasion to get our hands on, well, to go back and grab the other sanctum key that one of the other ones that we know about in room 46, and we opened up a couple new inner sanctum doors. And that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna head straight back to the inner sanctum. We'll grab our allowance, which also got a healthy boost on day, man, it really is up to 63. I thought it was in the 50s. It's 63. Dang, so that's great. But yeah, we opened up some new sigil doors, and we're going to head straight there because I have some ideas about sigils. And I realized in editing that as per usual, I was being a dingus. I apologize to all the frustrated viewers who were maybe yelling at their screens in some cases. How could you forget? How could you forget? There's another wheel. There's another lever on the dang inner sanctum controls. It's right there. I was editing that portion and I thought, this is not. There was something different before, and I looked up my day 20 footage when we solved our first two inner sanctum puzzles, and sure enough, there was another lever that I was missing. So, yeah, it happens. It happens, but yeah, I have some ideas for sigils. I've been doing some perusing of my notes. I also have, I think, a new idea about the security room. Hopefully we'll get to that a little bit later. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this all goes. So let's go ahead and we'll pull our lever here for room 46. I don't know if that's going to matter, but we might as well. No reason not to. And I'm going to, before we get into anything here, let's actually just go into the nuance room and we can see, we can talk about this. I think what my mind was definitely doing last time is it was like, the first time we were in here, I think I accidentally hit my arrow keys. You have to go into the interface, but I accidentally hit the arrow keys on my keyboard, and that's what made me realize that, oh, this part here is actually separate from this part. However, I didn't do that last time, and it'd been so long since day 20, and I think I would have done the same thing the first time if I had not accidentally hit the arrow keys, which is to presume, or like my brain sees this, my eyes see this lever, and it's like, I don't know, I had this idea that it was connected to this wheel. But clearly, you know, when you're spinning this, it just spins by itself. It's not spinning this part of the wheel. So my brain was it was overlooking a very, very important part of this puzzle process. That's all it was doing. So let's see if we can remedy that. Let's go into my notes here and start to walk through I've been doing some off-camera notes perusal, and we'll bring that up here on screen. And my post 36 day ideas that I've been jotting down. The first one, I was kind of going through various notes, or screenshots, I should say. I was just looking through my 500 plus screenshots that I've got in Steam, and I came across one of these Morajai box notes, and I thought to myself, what do I have in my notes about Morajai? And I just did a search for the term Morajai in my Google Docs, and I was reminded that I had actually made a note about the stamp in the mailroom, the fact that it says on the stamp, the White Sea of Yore. The White Sea of Yore. I think that Morajai is actually a white border. And that was one of the three remaining colors that we've been trying to figure out. Pink, green, and white. Oops. Which out of these remaining three, Vera, Morajai, and Nuance, do they go with? I think Morajai is the White Sea of Yore, as it is on the stamp, and therefore a white border. That's what I'm going to go with, because then that leaves pink and green. I I also have, I've tentatively jotted down windy as the weather for Morajai. I feel less confident about this one, but don't ship sails need wind? So it could be windy weather that Morajai experiences most often. We'll see about that one. As far as Vera and Nuance and their colors on their border, I think Vera has to be pink, because that makes the most sense to go with the sigil fragment from Lost and Found. Because I think it has the spiritual moat, and I don't think, from what we know, based on what I know so far, I don't think that Vera, or I should say, I don't think Nuance has, it doesn't make sense for Nuance to be the spiritual realm. It seems more of like an academic realm to me. So I think Vera is probably pink and Nuance is probably green. I think that makes sense. So from there, I also wonder if Nuance is wavy lines. Not Nuance, I should say. Vera. Vera, I think, is probably wavy lines. The stamp for Vera is the turtle stamp, and it kind of feels like we're looking at like a desert. I think that's what makes the most sense here. It's a little hard to tell. I really want to have the magnifying glass and look at our stamp collection again in the library. But I'm going to guess that that's wavy. We'll see. I feel very tentative about a lot of these weather associations, but some of these might be, you're maybe supposed to figure them out by process of elimination, because there are some that I feel more strongly about, such as Kararika, which I was reminded by looking at the stamp from the freezer. I was reminded, I really hadn't taken note because we didn't have our magnifying glass with us on the day that we were in the freezer. And so my laser focus was, all right, I'm going to save the stamp for later. I'm not going to pay attention to any of its details because we really need to add it to our stamp collection first. But then I went back to look at my screenshot and I thought, well, wait a second. This kind of just looks like snowy weather, doesn't it? And you can see the Kararika boomerang symbols here, just like we see from the geography chart in grade 4. And so I thought, well, snowy actually seems pretty likely for Kararika. Just similarly as Arch Aries seems like it would be lightning. If we go back to the, I think we had talked about this before, but the lightning icons that are on the stamp for Arch Aries. But another thing that I had forgot about on Arch Aries was the text at the very bottom, which talks about the opening of the 5th zone power plant. So that made me think, well, if Arch Aries is not just stormy weather, but also what if it has industrial as its moat? Industrial power plant. I think this is how we're supposed to do these sigils, right? There's a lot of information perhaps on these stamps that I'm supposed to be, that maybe I've not paid as close attention to yet as I should have. So then that leaves like tribal and agricultural left, and I'm not totally sure which ones they go with. My best guess is that Kararika could be tribal, because that's kind of what you would think of as a snowy environment. I guess I also thought because, well, if Kararika is snowy, does that mean it uses horseback for travel because of rough trails? Not sure on that. That's a big question mark. Just like trains for Arch Aries and Araja are big time question marks, because I really am not. I think I'm just going on the fact that the book, The History of Arindia, told us that there was a train system that went between the two, or the three, I should say. Arch Aries, Araja, and Arinda were all connected by train, but then those trains got destroyed in the Fen portion of the realm. Anyway, tribal and agricultural, I'm tentatively putting those with Kararika and Morajai. But again, Morajai is supposed to be a sea-based culture. Does that mean it starts shipping its agriculture? I don't know what other moat would go best, though, with Morajai. So we'll see how these work out. Let's put these, there's some of these that I have question marks for. There's some that I feel more strongly about. But that brings us to Nuance, which I think, the problem is now that if we say that Kararika is snowy and Arch Aries is stormy, Arinda and Fen are fog, and tentatively, Vera is like heat or wavy lines. Morajai is tentatively windy lines. That kind of leaves normal and rain as the last two weather options. And I don't know whether those go with Iraja or Nuance. So that could be our very... Let's see if we can piece this together. This is Nuance here. So let's see if we can go to our game now and start to piece together what we've got. If we feel strongly about Nuance being green, I do have to remind myself, what is a green border? Well, I guess we actually have it already. The slanted lines here just happen to be green. I went to that randomly, and it worked out. So then the number of lines are 5 long, and that's because 5 long lines represents aviation and dirigibles. Now, let me remind myself here, if I change the type, right now we have, it looks like rainy weather. So I could just leave that, and we could see if rain works. I don't need to change that just yet because it's either normal or rain, I think. That's going to be the answer here. Oh, but that did change. Okay, I forgot which one that changes. That actually changes the number of lines. But I needed to do that. I needed to change the number of lines. So this just also happens to change the color along with it. But this, I think, just changes the moat. Okay, and what mode are we using again for this? I have to remind myself. I don't have these memorized, but if we're saying that Nuance is academic, if we are saying that it is academic, oh, I guess we would want to use rainy lines because we would have tried normal lines last time, wouldn't we? And nothing that we tried with normal weather, which is the default, and we didn't change that at any point, did we? Because I thought we couldn't. I was wrong that we can change the weather. So we want to leave it on rainy lines because that is my best guess as to what goes with Nuance. I guess because we tried the other last time. So then what moat did we say? Academic. That is academic. And now I have to keep going until I get the 5 lines that would be for aviation and dirigibles. There we go. Academic moats. And then, do we have green on the outside? We actually did not change. So changing the number of lines does not change the border, or did it just happen to come back to green? In any case, I think this is my current best guess as to what goes for Nuance. 5 long, rainy lines, I guess, because we already tried normal. Does this work? No. No, it does not. So, what have I gotten wrong here? I wonder if my moat is wrong, because I had thought that it could be industrial. That is one thing we could try. We could just try industrial. Although I have to remind myself what exactly is industrial. It's this next one. That doesn't cut it either. Are the 3 lines actually rainy? Or it might not be rainy weather, right? Like, I'm making some big assumptions by saying that, well, is Vera the wavy, the windy weather? Sorry, the heat or wavy line weather? What if Morajai is not windy? What if Nuance is windy? What if Nuance has, like, the aviation dirigible? Because dirigibles need wind to move about as well, don't they? So what if the style of line here is wrong? What if we need to actually have... Those would be stormy lines. What if these are the heat lines? And I think we can say pretty safely that those are actually... Actually, I feel pretty strongly that those go with Vera. I don't know actually why I have this as a question mark, because now that I think of it, we go to our clock tower. The clock tower... moat or fragment. The pottery fragment here? Oh no, this is not the one. No, this is not the one. It's the lost and found fragment. This one has the wavy lines. And but that is what I think is Vera. I think this is Vera because it has a pink border. It has a pink border and it has spiritual moats, and the 5 short lines, if we look at the 5 short lines that are turtleback travel, It has to be Vera, right? It's the turtles of Vera, and there's a turtle on the stamp. It has to be the one. And that would make sense, right? This seeing two of those wavy lines here like this would line up with the 5. I think that makes sense. So where does that leave me in terms of nuance, though? If that means, so we're not, I guess what I'm, I guess another strong assumption here, which may or may not be true, is that every realm has unique weather. Might not be true, but I kind of want to think it is, because that's how this puzzle should go, question mark. That's how I want it to go. My wishful thinking. All right, let's go back to a green border here, and we'll use the windy lines this time. Could this, but then the moat I changed to industrial. We'll try it and see if that works, but I think I might have to go back to academic. Let's try going back to academic. Which is the 3 vertical lines, right? I was thinking, what does the moat look like again? It should be the, maybe not the next one. No, it is the next one. Could this be it? That is not it either. So it's not, So we need to maybe start keeping track of what we've tried here. Because I thought like, okay, let's throw out the attempts from last time because I was basically just trying all normal weather iterations and I hadn't tried any other types of lines. So now I'm thinking we need to start keeping track of what has failed. What has failed for nuance? And maybe this is just what's going to be in this tab and I don't have to write failed, but what we have tried has been green border, and under green border we've tried, I guess maybe it might make more sense to put these all together. Just say green border with industrial, or academic, I should say. Although we have tried them both. Academic, aviation, and then windy. We've tried that, and it's failed. We've also tried green industrial, right? We just tried that a moment ago, and that also failed. But we can try it again. And I'm saying aviation is... This is the 5... Yeah, the 5 lines above the horizon. 5 rays. Could it be a different type of travel? I feel like it nuances the blimp. Balloons, dirigibles. This is the number of lines. What I might not have right is just the style of weather or maybe the moat. It's possible that maybe I've also... Oh, it's here. It's possible that I've also gotten the color wrong. Like Morajai, I feel pretty strongly now that it's white, but maybe it's not. Maybe nuance is white. Should we just try normal weather again just to be sure? Because although, yeah, this is windy weather. Maybe we should just try normal one more time. That does, when you change the style of ray, it does iterate or increment the border. So you have to go back to green. But this is industrial. So this is probably not it. But we can at least add that to the list of failures here. So we can say that we've tried... We want to say that we've tried the normal weather. But we've also tried windy now, right? So if we're sticking with the aviation lines, and we tried both academic and industrial. I thought I was on to things, man. I thought I had some promising ideas. But okay, so that is a failure as well. Then we do the same thing, and we just did this for rainy, right? We just did this, but we'll try it again. Okay. We can do windy. Like I can just add windy plus norm plus rain. If I try this other industrial moat one more time, just to be sure, but that we did try that combination. Okay, so I'm gonna delete these two here, and we'll just say we've tried these three combinations. We've tried adjusting this moat. We've only tried any of these with the green border. So the green border could potentially be wrong, but another thing that makes me think that I'm right on that is that the stamp is actually green, isn't it? If I go back to my mailroom, the stamp for nuance is green, is it not? It's not that every stamp matches, the color of the stamp doesn't necessarily match. But the purple stamp for Araja, that does match. It's Arch Ares is not necessarily, like, Arch Ares is supposed to be yellow. And I mainly see blue here, but I guess you could say that, like, the background is yellow. The text, the Arch Ares text, the number 5, is that supposed to be yellow? I think nuance is supposed to be green, but I think we're just getting the weather wrong. I don't quite have the weather is the one that I feel just the least confident for any realm. Why don't we head over, though? Let's back out of this one and try a little bit of Eraja. Because if we opened up Eraja as well, but we didn't try any weather besides normal. What we did try were, I guess... Oh, I did try tribal for some reason. I think we should go back to the poetic moat. I think poetic moat feels right. Based on if we're trying to line up all 8. Once again, we're assuming that there's a different moat for every region. May or may not be true. But I also don't really know what the travel is supposed to be. Trains is a big leap. Trains is a big leap. Normal versus rain, I don't know. But we might as well give a couple tries here. Let's go back to the poetic moat. Now the thing is, we do have this is the pottery from the clock tower, correct? Let's get our clock tower again here. The clock tower pottery. This is Eraja, because it's the violet border. The violet border with poetic moats. And then what number of rays would make sense here? We were talking about this last time, but trains could be one where you'd have enough space for there to be no ray that shows up in this fragment. But it could also be horseback travel. It could also be roads and streets and carriages, right? You could fit 2 moats in between there. You could do camels and pack mules. You could even do turtleback travel. Or maybe you could even do aviation, because all underneath here. You could fit 4 moats without having a ray in between any of them. Like, I just don't have enough information from this pottery alone to be able to know what type of travel goes with Eraja. Does this note here tell me? Southward I see a swan, ashen like sands of the shore, carried by westerly winds, rogue like the moon of the north. Eastward I see a crow, dark of the days coming forth. I don't understand how that's supposed to tell me what type of travel Eraja uses. We tried trains last time, right? Let's just try to get to where we were last time. Trains is the 3, it's what we used for Arinda. So we can do, we go to 3 lines here. And now we change the weather. Foggy, we used for Arindia. Now we could leave it on rain. We could try it like this and just change the border to violet. Trains it feels a bit like a guess, but isn't there supposed to be a train system that connects all 3 of the realms? It does work. It took just a fraction of a second for it to actually react, and in that fraction, I thought, oh, it didn't work. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well. Okay. We take it, right? We take it. It was poetic. It was trains, so trains can be reused. And it was rainy weather. Okay. Confirmed. So, how does that help us with others? We'll see. What we do get to at least see... I will take a screenshot of this. I'll take a screenshot so I have this for posterity. Make sure we lock that in. What do we get as a reward? A Morajai box, which suggests it's probably an allowance token. Okay. We'll see. We shall see. We also get train travel. More train travel. If this is trains, then that does make me feel a lot better about trains being the mode of transportation for Arch Ares as well. We'll see how that all plays out. We have, though, let's go ahead and take this beautiful screenshot. And what do we have here? Some sort of palace or other important building, but it almost feels like there's a bit of a, I don't know, like a Chinese architecture. Just a hint of inspiration or taking some drawing from Chinese or maybe even Japanese architecture. Just a little bit of that hint of that. This is a very Eurasian hat. Like, it doesn't really feel like a beret. Sort of feels like a beret, I guess, but it really has kind of a unique shape to it. And then we have our postcard, which is going to presumably tell us at what point within the 8 realms in 8 months Araja falls. What do we have here? Hugh M, is that DDO? So we know Hugh is house, and we know M is large, I think. So large house or big house. But then what is DDO? Or is it DDQ? Dairy Queen. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had my magnifying glass. Let's read the note. I was a little disappointed that there has not been a drop of rain. Has not been a drop of rain during my time here, as every Arajan story I've ever heard has begun with rain. I suppose the anecdotes I make on this trip will have to do without that flavorful setting. However, even without the rain, the puddles and ponds that dot the countryside make this place feel different than home. Lorja Yena. Ajlor Lune. Herbert. Lorja is like goodbye, isn't it? It's like last word or goodbye. Goodbye, Yena. Hello, Lune. What does that mean? Yena, isn't that one of the rulers? Isn't that one of our busts in the... If we go to the foyer? Jariena. 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 Why does he say goodbye, Yena? Hello. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but I'm saying the way that the character's name is in Expedition 33, Lune. Also, does this tell us what order that Araja falls? First Araja. I don't think that means like he went here first. I think it just means like Araja before others. Is there a date here? There's no date, I don't think. Is there a... I really would love to have a magnifying glass to look more closely at this. Fortunately, now this is just open, and we could come look at this anytime we so choose. Well, we screenshot it no matter what, but I would like to look at this more closely. But I also don't know if it actually tells us What number is a Raja? Maybe this is another thing where we're going to have to, like, process of elimination figure out. Unless goodbye Yena is like goodbye Araja and hello to Lune, except I don't know what realm Lune is a part of. Maybe we'll figure that out by reading the other postcards. For now, let's try our hands at a Morajai box and see if we can reap any success here. Have we had the purple before? Have we had purple show up? We've had black and red show up. It has been a while, though, since I've done one of these. Can I get a reminder here? Oh, this does talk about violet tiles. Okay, screenshot. Morajai box, the Araja variation. The puzzle boxes of Morajai spread to Araja, not through port towns, as they had in other realms, but by train routes from the north. Interesting. So that does suggest that other realms could actually... There could be a lot more sea travel than I'm realizing. Like, maybe the travel in Nuance, is it possible that it's not happening as a result of dirigibles, but it's happening as a result of seas and ports? Maybe we could try that, as they had in other realms, but by train routes from the north. When Violet's tiles were introduced, they were created as a simple reflection of the variation first introduced by Arch Aries some years earlier. When violet tiles are pressed, they move south. Okay, whereas yellow, I think I remember now, yellow tiles move northward, don't they? I just don't remember exactly what green tiles do. Do they swap places with the far side of the board? So if I move, let's see. The red tile turns black tiles red, correct? Yeah. But then it doesn't do anything more after that. But the black tile itself does what? It cycles through from left to right. Or, yeah, from left to right, and then it goes back, cycles to the other side of the board when it's run out of room. Okay, I think I have a good reminder of how this works. The question is, how do we approach this? We need 4 purples in the corners. And I have 2 yellows up here, but they only move northward because that's Arch Aries. That's fun. That's fun how there's flavor connected to each of the realms that goes with the tiles on the puzzle. So then green, is that in fact connected to Nuance?
Yeah.
That would be if we had that bit of information, that would be good knowledge. I feel strongly it's Nuance. It's got to be. So, okay, how do we want to do this? There's not really a lot of moves that get us started. There's not a lot of moves that do... Let's see. We could swap and then move black. Oh, but it's not just... Wait a minute. Oh, it's not just that black... It's the whole row. When you click a black tile, its entire row is shifted to the right. Okay. Okay. So then in one of these positions, I guess we're going to want to get the green tile upward, right? And now I would be able to bring it downward. But then what does that get me? If I now move... I need to be able to get like a yellow tile. Somehow a yellow tile downward or a purple tile upward. And maybe they both happen the same way. This purple tile being up here is maybe not... It would be more useful if it was like over here. Well, it would be super useful if it was in one of the corners, because then I could activate one of these hourglasses. I could activate these 2 right now. But that's how the puzzle starts. That doesn't exactly get me anywhere. What's the best way to get this. Green is going to swap. But I can't move green laterally unless it's in the same row as the black square. And I can't... Now I could move the black square... This is where I could move the black square up. And now the black square could cycle a bit here. And now I could bring a yellow square down. Okay. So now yellow is down here. And we could use... We could bubble yellow up and use that to bubble something else downward. If I now move green... I could move... This is what I could do, is I could move green over here to swap it. Now I have a purple up here in this corner. But then at the same time... Well, but I could just bring... I could just bring the black square... I'm kind of... Huh. These two purple. This purple here, there's two purple on the middle lines. These could just, presumably, these could just sink down into one of their corners. If I moved this purple over, I kind of want, I kind of need the black back in the middle at some point, don't I? How do I, it's all about bubbling this, It's all about moving the green tile up or down, right? And I could do that here by sinking this purple tile all the way down if I wanted to. I think I would want... What happens if I do this? Now green is over here. And I could use that to bring purple back up like this. Now, we could bring black up here to this line again by using one of the purple squares in the middle row. Bring black up to the middle, and now... I think we would just be set if we could just get one of these purple squares. I kind of want to put... Oh, I think I can do this. I think I can move green here. And now I put black over here, and now I bring black here, because that allows me to put the two purples where I need them. And now... The problem now, though, is I still need to move... Maybe it's not a problem. I don't want to turn the black square red. I need it to stay black. But I want to bubble up... I'd like to... I could sink this purple down on the right-hand side, and it would be in the right place. Then I would have the green square in the middle. If I then moved... I could use the yellow square to go... and bring... how do I do this? How do I do this? Let me just go ahead and try it. Let's go ahead. I have an instinct that this is the way I want to go, but I feel like it could dead end still. I haven't worked it out to its completion. But let's see what happens here if I think I then need to do something like this. And now I'm getting... The thing that I need, though, is I still need... So I could... Man, I think I did screw myself up. Because I still need green to be up here at... Where do I need it? I need black to be down here. If I could get black on the bottom row... Oh, never mind. That's how I do it. There we go. I was closer than I thought. Which is, it feels like it's always the case with these Moragi boxes. They're always just a little bit closer than you thought. Okay, another allowance token is fine. We never reject the allowance tokens, but it's also at this stage of the game, you know, we are pretty rich. So it doesn't exactly help us a lot. to get an allowance token. I'd be much more excited about getting a Sanctum Key or a microchip. I'm hoping there's going to be like a microchip behind one of these doors, or who knows, maybe like a red letter. I'm hoping they're not all allowance tokens. That's less than exciting. But I don't think I have any other ideas for the moment on this nuance. We can, you know, I need to do a little bit more noodling on what exactly the weather. I guess one thing we could try is instead, like, I don't want to live in a world where it's not dirigibles, right? Like, it's so obviously on the stamp. Nuance is the stamp that has the dirigible. They're the ones that gave a freaking blimp to Fen Ares at the end of the war. I don't want them to be anything but the 5 rays above the horizon. But is it possible that they are a different ray altogether? Or could they be some other type of society that I'm not considering? Like, could they be an agricultural society? I think we're going to have to do some more thinking about that. And maybe what we end up doing at some point here, we have a Sanctum Key that's in the safe house. There's a Sanctum Key that is available to us whenever we so choose. It is the last of those, because once we use the safe house key, I don't know where we're finding 2 more keys. I think we know one of the keys is definitely in the last door there, if we can solve the nuance puzzle. But the other 2 keys, I don't know yet where to find those. A king without, or it's with a king on his throne. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. But I don't think I'm gonna go unlock. I don't want to spend any more time on sigils right now. I'm gonna spend a little more time maybe thinking about that either later in the draft or after the draft, and we'll see how that goes. Do I want to start in the entrance hall? I do have 4 keys, or I should say the foundation is what I meant. We could start at the foundation. Let's start at the entrance hall though. Hold on to those keys for now, and continue to ponder sigil mysteries. So then turning our attention, getting ourselves into drafting mode, we are continuing with our curse, which I don't think counts as cursed mode. Otherwise, we would have gotten a trophy, I think, for reaching room 46. But I will say, I think I might have interpreted this last clause incorrectly. The bit about drafting a red room, I think I interpreted that as lose all of your steps. But then, as I thought about it, I think it probably just means lose 1 step and 1 key and 1 gem and 1 coin. In other words, lose all 4 of the above quantities when you draft a red room. Because if it actually made you lose all of your steps, then your run is over. What does it matter if you also lose all of your keys and your gems and your coins? Why would they say lose all of the above if you were in fact losing every single one of your steps, rather than just losing 1 step, 1 key, 1 gem, 1 coin? So I think drafting a red room is not nearly as punishing as I was thinking it would be. I'm not sure if I'll be how brave enough I will be to test that out. But I guess when we get a red room offered, we can make that choice. Or not. Let's see how things go. I think we take another break room. But I do want to go back to the library at some point to just, hopefully with a magnifying glass, definitely with a magnifying glass, look at our stamp collection again. We want to get I really want to look at some more details on the various stamps that we've looked at before, just to see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Any other little keywords or hints that might clue us into what type of weather to look out for. Because I still don't, based on the Araja stamp at least, I don't see how we were supposed to know that it is rain unless it's a process of elimination. Just rule out, fill in the weather for the other realms that you do know, stormy for Arch Ares, snowy for Kararka, etc. And eventually you boil it down to it could only be rain for Araja. I think, though, we do take the break room over the reading nook to start. Just because the break room is so nice to have. It's so nice. I forgot to draft an outer room, though. I got a little bit ahead of myself, and I forgot to draft an outer room. I don't think this changes anything based on... I think I would probably... Yeah, well, we can take the break room here, and that's going to not impact... I'm getting so ahead of myself because I'm so used to you go outside first to draft an outer room. And then you go back inside and you start your entrance hall draft. So my mind just is trained to, okay, you're coming back in to the house. This is when you draft the entrance hall. Just completely overlook the outer room. Let's see about drafting that outer room. Aha! And we do get the tomb. I think we're gonna keep taking the tomb until we are able to light those candles. As anytime we get offered the tomb, basically, I want to get a schoolhouse again because I want to ace that final exam. I'm not sure if I want to draft the shelter again. The shelter is I mean, we'll draft it again at some point, but it certainly is not at the top of our priority list on outer rooms, as far as I know. It's cool getting those shielded effects from the 3 red rooms, but now that we have a crown, when we get our hands on a code check, shelter's not as necessary, is it? We'll take the tomb, though. Tomb gets us started getting even more gold as the day progresses, and eventually, hopefully, we get our hands on a burning glass or a torch. We're down a few steps from where we would normally be these days, but we're still ahead. We spent so many days without an apple orchard. We got to room 46 without an apple orchard. We're starting ahead of where we would be normally with an apple orchard. So everything is fine. Let's draft to the right of the entrance hall. Everything is peachy keen. That's a den. We're going to take the den, and we're going to draft in that direction because I want to have 3 gems whenever I draft my next door. What is that door going to be? I don't know yet. I think I draft... I don't know. I don't know which one is supposed to come first here. I don't know. I think I'll draft above into rank 2. I do not know. I'll take a Geist bedroom. I think that's kind of what I was like, if I get a Geist bedroom offered, I would like to take it because obviously I have a tomb and I get a bunch of dice. But it also kind of goes nicely down in, like, that's a good spot for a dead end. Or it's a fine spot for a dead end. Happily take the Geist bedroom here. I do have to keep in mind the curse. I had already forgotten about that. I don't mind losing a step here. That's fine. But I do want to be mindful of losing gems when drafting green rooms. And hallways, losing keys as well, even though we have 4 to start. D-I-E. Give me those dice. Dice in the Geist. Bedroom. And I'll draft the corner. It's fine. Commissary. Overcoat check. Yes. The mailroom is, I forgot we have a package that we're waiting to get delivered here, but I don't want to draft a dead end here. But I do like the coat check. I do like the crown. Having that crown available is so good. But the commissary gets us gems. Probably. And it gets us a magnifying glass, and maybe it also gets us a metal detector, which would allow us to make a burning glass. I think I just take the commissary. I really want to make sure that we get our hands on a way to spend coins. And let's spend those coins ASAP here. Aha! We even get a set of running shoes. Unfortunately, we get 0 gems. Does happen. It has been known to happen with the commissary. I'll definitely take my running shoes, though. We're going to need those extra steps, I think, today. Probably take everything else as well, because we just have so many coins. No metal detector, unfortunately. So we're going to hope to get a metal detector from a green room. We can draft here, though. We do want to get our hands on some gems, though. So there's a part of me that wants to wait to draft this, to go draft back at either the entrance hall or the break room and try to get an observatory. But we could draft an observatory here. It would be totally fine to draft an observatory as a dead end. Because if we have that opportunity, we might just take it because the observatory is pretty decent. Here we probably just take the tunnel because we never drafted the tunnel. I'm a little hesitant about drafting it on a day when we have a curse and we're going to spend a key in drafting it. So we probably would not draft the tunnel afterwards, but it would get us into rank 3 and it would allow us to look at the tunnel because who knows, maybe there are some really good clues or there's a really good item or something in the tunnel. Maybe it's like a guaranteed shovel in the tunnel or something like that. We've literally never drafted the room before. And I want to take a shot. I want to see what is in the tunnel. Even if it does cost me a key, we've got probably 2 keys in the break room that are waiting for us, and we have a key card. So tunnel it is. Let's make it. Let's make it a tunnel. Oh my god. Interesting. There is a shovel here. There actually is a shovel. What do you know? Okay. Thank you very much. Is that a guarantee? I wonder. We've got the artwork here. We know about any DOOR letters hiding anywhere. Any special, hidden, easy to overlook anything anywhere in this room. Any dig sites that could I dig into the walls? Is there anything about this room other than maybe you just get a guaranteed shovel? Interesting. Huh. Okay, it's got like an aquarium style door here. And the hole in the wall is the funniest part, right? I didn't note it out loud, but the wall, they just dug right through the wall. I guess when you need a tunnel, you need one. When you need one, there's nothing else to be done but dig through the wall. All right. Here. Oh, interesting. We could do the nursery again. But we don't really need it for the steps, do we? I don't want to spend the gem here. Now that we have running shoes and a sleeping mask, I don't think we need to go the nursery route. So we probably just take a reading nook. I don't think I want to draft another tunnel just to get to rank 4. The reading nook, like, we don't have to take the library. I'm just worried the library might point into the guy's bedroom. But I might do that anyways, just because I do want to get the library again. And now that we have our magnifying glass, I think we go ahead and do that. Let's take the reading nook here. And I will go ahead and draft through it. Hoping to get a metal detector at some point. And a workshop and make our burning glass. I think we draft this now, though. We've got 6 dice, because I think if we really wanted to, we could re-roll to get the library pointed in the right direction, right? Let's see. The library is nice, and it points the way we want it, but at the same time, there's a workshop. The workshop could have a metal detector. That is just one way. And if we are going to make a burning glass, we're going to need a workshop at some point. The workshop is common, so there's a good shot that it just appears naturally. So the library is we're only getting this just to be able to look at stamps again, which is important. We want to figure out these sigils, but I also want to find out what's behind the wall in the tomb and make a burning glass to do that. I think I will go ahead and take the library because assuming we don't make any Draxus the Dead or Southern Cross adjustments to our drafting pool, Solarium, Anything like that, if we don't do that, then the workshop is common and should show up again. Presumably. I also like the fact that the library points northward from here. Just angles my house a little bit more nicely. But I don't want to draft from the library with only 2 gems. So we'll take the library and we're just gonna leave it right here for now. I guess we picked out a new clue. A new clue is waiting for us there on the desk. Is there anything left to decipher from a new clue? I get the sense that the answer is no, but I also can't rule it out. So for now, we're just gonna head back and draft in the other direction and hope to get our hands on some more gems. We really want an observatory. We'll step in here for our sleeping mask proc. And we'll then draft the other side of the entrance hall. And maybe draft a dead end here. We'll see. Or a spare master bedroom that gets us over to the west wing. And we could wait until later to step in there and get a whole bunch more steps. Go and draft the break room right now and come back to this. Or we just take the storeroom to get us that extra gem, which I did say that I wanted. Yeah, I think I do want to focus on gems here. Let's the steps would be nice. Getting over to the west wing would be nice, but I think the gems are more of a priority, especially getting to that 3 gem mark, being able to afford basically anything short of a trophy room is really an important threshold to be at. Any other items? No broken lever here this time. So let's go into it. Let's do our math puzzle. Looking forward, sarcastically, looking forward to when our math puzzle starts involving the more advanced algebra symbols from our, was it the 7th grade classroom? We'll see if and when we get to that point. Holy shit, what the hell? So I'm adding together 3 numbers first. 11 plus 6 plus 3 is 20. And then I'm subtracting 10 and 8, which is 2. And then multiplying by 3, which is 6. Got it. Have we had that before where we're adding or subtracting multiple numbers together? Probably, but it hasn't been very common. Now, oh, the subtraction is happening last. We have 2 times 15, which is 30, divided by 3, which is 10, minus 9, which gives us 1. And then we have 5 minus 1 is 4, plus 5 is 9, minus 1 is 8. Cool. Not too bad. They do give us another Southern Cross here, a silver key. I guess that's fine. I guess that's okay. We're probably going to end up with a whole bunch of regular keys, so having that silver key for certain instances ain't the worst. Here I will take the parlor. That's pointed in the right direction. It's pointed in the right direction, and it is a parlor, which we haven't played in a while, because we haven't really needed the gems on so many of our previous days. But this, I think, is a perfect parlor. The den, I would like it if it were pointed the other way. And there's part of me that wants to redraw here to try to get a T-shaped room that gives me doors in both directions, but it's not that high of a priority. We should still be able to get down the west wing with the rerolls that we have. So let's just take the parlor so we have much more gem flexibility. And we get an apple. Presuming my logic skills are on point, this box is empty. Could be true or false. A box with a false statement is empty. Maybe that also could be true or false, I guess. There are 2 false statements. All right. I don't think we have, I think we're going to have to make an assumption and see if we get a contradiction. Because I think any of these could be true or false on their own, right? The requirement is that we have 1 false statement and 1 true statement, at least. At least one box with false, at least one box with true. It doesn't say that. That means there could be 2 false statements, or there might not be. What you can't have is 3 falses or 3 trues. So, let's see. A box with a false statement is empty. A box with a false... I think the easiest one to presume is that this one is true. Let's presume that the statement, there are 2 false statements, is true. Let's presume that to be the case, and then these 2 then become false. So, a box with a false statement is empty. This would have to be false, correct? So, so that means a box with a true statement is empty. Or a box, yeah, exactly, a box with a true statement. Or no, it could be a box with a false statement is not empty. Right? But that would be a contradiction, wouldn't it? You would have this statement being false, which means that a box with a false statement is not empty, which means this would have to have gems in it. It's got a false statement, it has to be not empty, has to have gems. But that would also mean that this box has a false statement and would have to have gems. I think that's a contradiction. So then that means this statement has to be true. Or I should say this statement has to be false, meaning if there are not 2 false statements, that means there's only 1 false statement. And also, this would be the false statement, correct? So then that would make these both true. This box is empty, and a box with a false statement is empty. So that would make this one false and therefore empty, and that means the gems would be behind this one. Ooh, I feel like I went through a lot there, and I'm not... This is definitely one of the less confident games that I've felt so far. Can we do this again if we presume a different box to be false? Or presume it to be true? Let's presume that this one is true. So a box with a false statement is empty. If we presume that to be true, that would make, let's see, that would actually make this one true, correct? A box with a false statement is empty. If we're presuming this to be true, a box with a false statement is empty. How does this work? If this statement is true, that means that this is not a box with a false statement. It's a box with a true statement. But that doesn't tell us anything about whether it's empty or not. Just because a box with a false statement is empty doesn't mean that a box with a true statement has to be not empty, correct? Because you could have 2 boxes with true statements, but only one of them can have gems. But we would know that this statement is true at least. And so that would make this box is empty, is the statement here. I am starting to get myself tied in some logic pretzels. And let's just keep thinking this through. Let's just think it through. We're presuming that the white box is true. Box with a false statement is empty. This is seriously like breaking my brain right now. And it could be that I just need to take a break and stretch and get a little bit of get a little bit of hydration. So let me actually do that. We're going to take a break and come back and try to continue this parlor game puzzle and get this right. Okay, thinking about this a little bit more during my break, I think I've convinced myself that the white box has the gems, but let's just walk through this to be sure. A box with a false statement is empty. Let's presume that to be true. A box with a false statement is empty, which means that this box has a true statement. But of course, we said that just knowing that a false statement is empty doesn't say anything about a true box. So this could be empty or it might not be. But if it is a false statement, if it is a true statement, then that means that this here has to be a false statement. We could not have this be true and this also be true. Because if there are two false statements, if that's true, well, then we've run out of... We just said that we had two true statements. So that would be a contradiction, which means this would have to be false. So there are not two false statements. There's only one, and this is it. So that means the remaining box over here, the blue box, is true. This box is empty. And we said that a box with a false statement is empty. We said that's true. So that means this black box, since it's false, is also empty, and that means the gems have to be in the white box. I think we get to the same spot even if we presume this statement to be false. So if we say that a box with a false statement is empty, we're actually, and then we're saying that statement is false, that means that a box with a false statement is not empty. And therefore, this has the false statement on it, and so it's not empty, right? And I think we similarly extend, because this is not empty, that means that this here has to be true. This box is empty. We end up in the same place. We end up in the same place. We have to say that this is also a true statement. Wait a minute. Did we end up in the same place? Hold on. We're saying that this is a false statement. We're saying that this is a false statement. And, oh, maybe... No, but we're saying that a box with a false statement is not empty. So, oh, wait a minute. No, but I think that does get us a contradiction. So now I'm not sure if I did this the right way. But when we went through the logic to say that a box with a false statement, we're saying that this is true. And we found out that we ended up saying that this is a true statement and this is a false statement. So this one is empty. This one is empty. But this is a true statement. But it has to be the box, because of process of elimination, it has to be the box that has the gems. I think if I spend any more time on this, I'm going to confuse myself just to oblivion. I think it's the box with the white. I think the white box has the gems. I think. Oh my god. This parlor game. It's been a while since we played, but I felt like we had maybe reached a plateau in the difficulty. It says that the games are going to keep getting harder, though. But I felt like recent games were starting to feel like, okay, these are not too bad. That one definitely felt more difficult. Fortunately, we still got there, but I'm starting to get a little bit worried about future parlor games. Okay. Here we could take a bedroom just to angle us to the west wing, which is kind of what I want to do. But I don't love any of these choices. Like, this synergizes with our sleep mask, gets us a few more steps. But I kind of want to redraw here. I don't really like any of these choices. I would much rather have, like, I don't know. I want to get to the west wing because I do want us to get a veranda. A veranda would be one room that I'd be willing to spend a few dice to try to get, because I want to get a metal detector to go with our magnifying glass. And I think the veranda is one of the best ways for us to do that. Either the veranda directly, or courtyards and other green rooms afterwards that would be more likely to have a metal detector. So I think I'll save my dice, and I'll just settle for the bedroom to get us to the west wing. Any items in here? It has been, I feel like it's been so long since we've actually picked up items in the bedroom. I'm not going to spend any time on Baron's Bafflers, but it's interesting that I felt like we got so many more items earlier on in our drafting of the house, and not so much recently. I might settle for a kitchen here, because I do want to draft down. I want to at least have the room that's on rank 2, and maybe spend a few rerolls there going for the veranda. I think that's what I want to do. Veranda, as well as I wouldn't mind getting our hands again on her ladyship's chamber. I have gotten a little bit more of a nudge regarding the planetarium. And it has made me suspect that we might need the telescope for the planetarium. So getting our hands on a telescope from Her Ladyship's chamber is something that I'd like to do. The nudge, I think, specifically said something like, what might help you scope out what is hidden in this room? It was a more direct nudge than most, I think, but perhaps needed in this case, because I don't think I would have ever have thought to take the telescope to the planetarium on my own. So I think I will settle for the kitchen. We've got a key card to go back around to the foundation and continue our draft if and when we need to. So this lets us fill out basically the rest of our base. And we get to take a look at the kitchen menu. We could add bacon and eggs, huh? I don't like that idea. It's been so long since we've had the morning room. And the porterhouse steak. That's a good one for us. Because the showroom is more common than it used to be. I'm at least getting the club sandwich here. And then maybe I'll wait on the bananas just in case we get like a coupon book. Bacon and eggs. Would we be able to draft it? We would not be able to draft it down the east wing. Sorry, down the west wing. So I'm fine. I think I'm fine taking this. I don't think we could draft the way that you have to. Am I remembering this correctly? Let me just look at my, room directory here. The morning room. You have to draft this. I think, oh no, you could draft it down. Let's wait to buy this, because I actually don't want to get the morning room when we're drafting down into rank 2. I want to have the veranda be more likely, so I don't want to add the morning room to the pool just yet. So let's draft this way first. We actually do get Her Ladyship's chamber. Okay, I might just take that then and get our hands on that telescope like I was talking about. We miss out on a chance to draft a conservatory. And we do miss a shot at getting the veranda. But Her Ladyship's chamber is so much harder to get your hands on. And I do think that the telescope could be useful to us. We haven't drafted an observatory yet as well. We'll miss out on that corner room, but let's take Her Ladyship's chamber. We get our steps as well from the sleeping mask. I think the telescope, it feels like it's a guarantee to show up here. So we get a telescope. I still don't know what... Oh, look at that. There's the Eurasian hat. I was trying to figure out where I had seen this before. It makes total sense that it's here in Lady Epson's room. I think we've seen it somewhere else as well, but I don't remember where. It might have been one of the books that was talking about Eurasia. Don't know for sure. This here has got to be related to this spiral of the stars that we've looked at before in our... Let me see if I can find it in my screenshots, and then I'll bring it up on screen. But we've seen this in the classroom, right? This is a classroom. Here. I think we've seen this before in... I don't know if I have a zoomed-in screenshot of it. The spiral of stars. I presume that's a spiral of stars, right? I never put the magnifying glass over it in my screenshots here, but I think it's this spiral, isn't it? It's gotta be. We just don't see the planets on this spiral, but I think it has the same, like you see this spot here where like the Saturn type planet kind of, I don't know, spikes outward. This is where the Saturn planet would be, right here, wouldn't it? I think it matches the shape, basically. Exactly. It's an exact match. But what does it mean? It says, does it never end? The spiral of stars. Is there some puzzle that involves this spiral that I haven't become privy to yet? I don't know. I don't think we need to... Well, we can't actually open her... Oh, no, it stays open permanently. That's a permanent unlock, huh? Okay. This screenshot here, this Uh, I feel like this is related to Blessing of the Monk. And the nudge that I've been given about the shrine, let's just take a moment and talk about that here. The shrine, I had previously thought was... I got a nudge from one of my trusted advisors that re-examine your assumptions regarding the shrine. And my assumptions, one of my assumptions had been the fact that the shrine is random. Let me bring this up on screen here. What I had thought is that the shrine was basically random, the buff that you get, like Blessing of the Gardener, and that all you control is the duration by the number of coins that you donate. But then what I realized after I got this nudge, I went back to look through my previous drafts, and I realized that not just on day 36, where we gave our 70 coins and then took them back and got cursed, we did the exact same thing on day 28. We donated 70 gold, and we got Blessing of the Gardener for 7 days. Maybe that was just by chance that we got that, but it made me wonder, given the nudge that I got from my trusted advisor, is my assumption wrong? The fact that the buff is random, is it actually a guarantee that you can get certain buffs depending on how many coins you donate, and it's not just the duration that's changed? We got Blessing of the Tinkerer when I donated 40 gold. We got that for 5 days. We got Blessing of the Berry Picker for 4 days when we did 31 gold. And we got Blessing of the Chef for 5 days when I got 44, when I donated 44. And I think those have been our 4 different blessings that we've seen so far. Now, it made me think, this is where I feel like from this data, you could extrapolate this idea of, hey, between 40 and 49 coins is going to get you 5 days worth of a buff. And between 30 and 39 coins, that's going to get you 4 days. That seems like not an unreasonable range of values to fit your... It would seem to fit. The fact that we got Tinkerer with 40 and Chef with 44. But maybe the buff is not random, and we should test this a little bit more thoroughly. Try to do some different values, or maybe pick the same value sometimes and see what we get. So that's something to think forward towards because I want to get this Blessing of the Monk to see if maybe we could draft the antechamber out in the outer room, or room 46, or some other, 4-way room that you wouldn't normally get there. And maybe you get like some secret doors that otherwise wouldn't show up. So because we have the sleeping mask and the running shoes, and we're still doing fine on steps, I'm not going to buy the rest of the kitchen right now. We're going to save that. I think even the bacon and eggs, I don't... it doesn't get me gems... Oh, it does get me gems today. But at the same time... Okay, yeah, I forgot. The morning room does give us 2 gems, and it gets us tomorrow gems. But it does cost us a gem in the process because we're still cursed. And so the green room that I'm most interested in getting is the veranda, if I am on a wing. So let's not add... I don't think I want to add the morning room at all, because it makes the veranda less likely, I think. So for now, we'll leave the rest of the kitchen unpurchased because, we want to have coins for a showroom if and when that shows up. So let's go ahead, now that we have 5 gems, let's go ahead and draft the library, ? Or do we head to the foundation? Let's actually go to the foundation because we do have the running shoes, and it makes walking outside that much cheaper. Let's go ahead and do that. And we've got 5 keys, and we've got a key card, and we have a silver key. Let's head around and let's just start drafting from the foundation that has the 3 doors available to us, and we'll save that library for later. There's not necessarily anything that I'm trying to draft out of the library, but I just don't feel I'd rather have more doors open to me right now than going and using the special buffed, the library getting more rare rooms. So let's go up here, and we get these dig sites as well. Which I might wait. I might hold off on digging those dig sites for just a moment, because maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some world where I make a jackhammer first or something. I don't know. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to dig these. Let's not overthink it. Let's just get the dig sites out of the way. Coins are good for us. It's just that you could get a coin purse first. There's always these little, like, minute ordering considerations that I love to think about, but are ultimately not backbreakers. We're going to head to the wing first, because once again, I would like... Also, there's a key card here. Huh, interesting. I don't know if I remember there... or that I remembered that keycard doors could appear in the Foundation. Interesting. All right. I think I take the laboratory because I want to draft on the wing. The laboratory lets me not just start an experiment, but it also lets me draft downward and try to get... I really want to get a veranda. Maybe I'm trying to force a veranda, because even if I do get a metal detector, I still need a workshop. So I might be trying to make too much out of getting a veranda. But I like the fact that the laboratory starts as an experiment as well. The walk-in closet would be cool, because we have the effect from her ladyship's chamber that would get us a whole bunch of gems. So the walk-in closet wouldn't be a bad move, but I like taking the laboratory here. And I think I'm fine doing that over using a die just to give myself a chance at the West Wing Hall. I'll settle for the laboratory. Just keep hoarding my dice and use them in a spot where I really get their effectiveness. Anything that we have possibly missed in the laboratory? I don't think so. But you never know if there's like a note that's tucked away somewhere. There have been notes in trash cans and other spots that we've missed before. I think we finally figured out the complete thaw, and that the cooler is unaffected by that. You need a burning glass, you need a torch, or the freezer. It took us long enough, but we got there. We've powered on the grotto. I think we're set. The laboratory is good to go. Oh, this does give us an we have a terminal though. We have a terminal, and this does give me an opportunity not just to do an experiment, but to log into the network. Let's do our experiment setup first. But this is exciting because we don't actually have to get to security to do the thing that I was thinking of doing or trying. We do have a sledgehammer, don't we? So this would not be... Adding a small chest to the entrance hall could be good. But I do love this key gem die randomness. This has been good to us before. Probably not 3 gold for red rooms, because we have none of those so far. Whenever you draft a shop, the next 3 times you open a locked trunk. Huh. Now, we haven't done this yet. We've been offered this option after we've opened the swim trunks, or after we've opened the twin trunks from the observatory. We've opened 0 trunks so far. This could be a good one. But also, each time you unlock or bypass a security door, that's a pretty safe one. But this one here, it feeds in very nicely if you decide to go with this experiment. Now you've got a real nice little feedback loop. It plays into itself, which is fun, and maybe one that I want to try. We just need to get ourselves either twin trunks or swim trunks to get things started. Now, we're close to getting 50 stars. So our observatories, if we were to get 2 of them today, there should be a new constellation in one of them once we get 50 stars. So it might be less likely that we get twin trunks today. But I kind of just like the idea of trying a new experiment. One that we've never done before, right? We've done this unlocking security doors, getting keys and gems and dice, and those are good to get, but we're good on those resources so far. We're okay. And I want to try something new. I just want to try something new, you know? Sometimes you got to have some novelty. So let's do this one. Now, the network login. The nudge that I got regarding security is that I've been overcomplicating things. Let me try to bring up security here. Let's look at it together one more time. But I think, well, the nudge says that I've been overcomplicating things, so clearly I have been overcomplicating. What have I been overcomplicating? The note in the safe house says delete it, and then it has the letter A. So I had been getting this idea that you're supposed to delete the letter A, and by similar logic, delete the letter O based on the note in the attic, with all the red lines scribbling over everything. But what if it's not trying to tell us to delete any letters? What if the only thing that we're supposed to notice is that, hey, this is an A, this monitor represents an A for archives, and this monitor is O for office. Therefore, keep looking at all the monitors until you've spelled something out. And don't delete any of the letters. What if you're not supposed to delete any of the letters, and you're just supposed to go and spell all the letters that are there from all 11 monitors? But the problem is that's not perfectly centered on the screen. That shouldn't work. Never would a password work that's not perfectly centered, guys, would it? Never, ever. It's actually incorrect. Yo, what the hell? Seriously? Seriously? Okay, now I really don't know what to do. Supposedly I was overcomplicating things. And I thought, okay, so what if I just include all the letters? What if I just... It's a swan song, except it's Herbert Sinclair's swan song. What if it's just Herbert Sinclair's swan song? I'm still missing something. Maybe I need to log in from security. Maybe I can't actually do this from the laboratory. Maybe. But I'm still missing something. Whatever the security monitors and those notes are trying to tell me, Swansong HSS. I don't know. If it's not deleting those letters, which we've tried deleting the A and deleting the O. That doesn't do anything. We've tried now not deleting the A and not deleting the O, deleting absolutely zero of any of those. And that doesn't do it either. What am I missing? What am I missing? I don't know. I don't know. It is a mystery that shall remain until it pops into my brain. Unintentional rhyme. I will use a regular key here because I want to get a veranda. And I may spend some dice to do so. Now I could just take a den and get another gem. I want to get a veranda though. The veranda would cost me quite a few gems. That's the one downside with the veranda because we're cursed. So... And I don't have to, you know, there's a lot of other spaces where the veranda could appear. If I'm on a wing, it's going to show up, or has a chance to show up. So maybe I just take the den here, and I get to draft maybe a dead end out through the den. Or straight through, you know, whatever I draft. I have another door to draft. And I continue to hold on to dice for when I really need them. Because I do need gems. I really do need gems. Let's continue to stockpile gems. And maybe when we get an observatory that has a Diamondus Major, and we have a telescope to give us double Diamondus Major, we can be a little bit more freewheeling with trying to get a veranda. For now, gems, gems, gems. There's a showroom. A free showroom. We only have 37 coins, so we can't afford a compass yet. But I don't think I pass a showroom here, do I? Cost me a coin, no big deal. But I could take a mailroom, which could have gems. Could have a compass. Could have more dice. We would get to look at a bunch of stamps, again, if we wanted to, with our magnifying glass. That could be useful. I think I want the showroom, though. It's another door to draft through, and maybe we get to fully fill out the... Well, not fully fill out, but we can fill out this room that's on rank 3 that's missing. Maybe. I take the showroom. We're going to get our hands on some more coins here. We take the showroom. Let's see what's for sale. There is an ornate compass. There's also an emerald bracelet. And there's a silver spoon. I feel like the silver spoon is not needed today. But I could definitely be in the market for... Would I even buy the emerald bracelet before the compass? Compass is so OP. But I can't afford either of them right now, so it doesn't really matter yet. So I think I just keep drafting through the showroom. There's a planetarium. It would mean that we don't draft that room that's on rank 3. But we would get to look for a secret. Presuming that this telescope actually interacts in some special way in the planetarium. So, maybe we just do that. We don't have to fill out a 45-room house. It's no big deal. Don't have to fill every single room in the house. And I'm not excited by the other ones, and I don't think I want to spend any redraws here. So let's take the planetarium. And we'll see, does the telescope actually do something here? It does. It does. Let's find out what it does. The hint. What would let you scope out the secret? Good one. Telescope. Okay. It's allowing us to look at the night sky, and we can actually interact with this. Yo. Memora, guiding light. Starting tomorrow, each planetarium will contain one ivory die? Yo, what? That's kind of awesome. I remember this Memora being one of the planets from the chart that we just looked at. Well, maybe not the one we just looked at, but it was one of those charts from the classroom. Can I find it here? From the classroom that talked about... Yeah, here it is. I have the Vea Fenmora, Mora, Dauja, and Memora. That one's there. Guiding light. Was this a random thing? Don't answer this, but I'm wondering, is this something that's random? Like, it looks like the prompt is gone. It looks like there's nothing else to do. Just that one-time observation. Because at first I thought we might be able to move the telescope around, because of course we see multiple planets here. Didn't seem like you could move the telescope, so you just get that one planet, Memora. But was that random? Could we have gotten one of the other planets to show up, similar to the shrine, and apply a different buff to our planetarium? Could be multiple planetariums, I guess, if you get a chamber of mirrors. That's kind of cool. That's cool. Another way to get our hands on dice. I'm a fan of this. I'm okay with this. All right, planetarium. Cool. Sights to see in not just the observatory. Sights to scope out. Let's continue through the foundation. I think we will draft... we'll draft to the right of the foundation. Or... I always think this is a coin purse up here. Or we'll draft... Maybe we should draft upward. Try to get a room with a bunch of doors. Because this is where I could use my silver key. That's not upward. I think I'll check here and see if this is locked. I think I want to use my silver key here. This is the spot where I want to open up doors in all directions. If at all possible. I think we do that first. As opposed to, I could try to go for something that's going to get me some coins. The door that's to the right, but I don't think I have to wait on this door to do that. Let's just use our silver key here. I think that's fine. We get no room that has 4 doors. But we do get a dining room. Dining room versus drawing room. Dining room versus drawing room. I think I would want... what would I want here? I'm not sure. I could also use a redraw here to try to get a room with 4 doors. But who knows, that might give me like an archives or a weight room. But we do have 6 dice. 64 steps. We're not... The dining room is better than it normally is because we got the showroom. So we're getting those bonus steps. And we probably never have to worry about steps again if we take the dining room. So it's probably just a fine pick. Save our dice. But if we take the drawing room, we do get additional dice. Sort of. We get that 1 additional draw at each door of the drawing room. But again, that's not that thrilling. It's not really all that thrilling. I just don't think there's really a room that I would want to redraw for. So I'll settle for the dining room here. Save my dice like I said I was going to. And then now we'll draft this room to the east. The kennel is a fine pick here. That gets me across. Yeah, that angles me away from that door that comes out of the right of the dining room. And when we have a shovel already, this is a good effect. So I like it. I like it, and I like giving pets to doggos. So let's do it. The kennel is good for multiple reasons. Good doggo. Good doggo, opening the door for me. Oh yeah, and then dig sites give us coins as well. We want coins to get something from the showroom. I think I'll keep drafting in this direction. We've got that door coming out of the library. We'll try to avoid drafting towards that. Oh, there's an armory. Okay, the armory is the other room that I'm really interested in because it potentially gets us a torch. I do want to see about an observatory. Because I'd like to get 50 stars, but we don't have to get that today. I'm much more interested in getting the armory. It would mean our coins are a little bit more stretched, maybe, but that's fine. Like, the stuff in the armory that we really want, the torch, it's not that expensive. I think we take the armory here. It points in the right direction as well, for what it's worth. But I am very tempted by the observatory when we have a telescope. Because we do need gems, and getting a double Diamondus Major would be pretty clutch. I just don't know that we can't really guarantee that. I don't know what's going to show up when we get 49 stars. So I'm going to lock in the armory. I'm hoping that well, we'll see with having 6 dice left. Getting our hands later on another observatory would be totally fine. But we already kind of did, like, the thing I wanted to do with the telescope was the planetarium. I wanted to see what that interaction was. So if we get to use the telescope in the observatory, that's just icing on the cake. What I really want here is an armory. Let's take that. We do spend a coin. We don't get... It looks like we don't get a torch. So that's a bit of a bummer. We get a mace, but we don't need a mace because we already have a sledgehammer. We do get an axe, but as I think we discussed previously, the axe, I have been informed, is something that you can only use 3 times. And the game doesn't really tell you this. So we may or may not purchase the axe today. I think we've made good decisions. I like the fact that we have a free showroom and a free passageway. These are fine. I don't know yet what else I would make free. But I don't think I think I might buy the Knight's Shield. Because if we do get a Lost and Found that's offered, it would be fun to get that again and be able to use the Knight's Shield. If I take this, I'm that much farther away from picking up the stuff in the showroom. But I think that's all right. It's only 8 coins, and if the moment that we find like a vault or a treasure trove, we've got the coins that we want to buy the stuff in the showroom. So let's just take the Knight's Shield. So we have that available whenever a lost and found or a wait room or whatever pops up. And we'll continue drafting in this direction. There's part of me that wants to go back to the library and see if I can just get my hands on a vault, but we don't need to go there just yet. Let's just keep drafting in the direction that we're going here. 4 keys left. We still have not got a security room to turn up our security level. But with the kennel is now active, so rooms with dig sites. Would that count? It says unlock all doors in that room, so that should count security doors as well, shouldn't it? I don't know if that's in the fine print, so I'm just thinking of a room like the courtyard. If it had security doors, would the kennel apply to those? I guess we'll find out. I'll open... Let's use the key here, though, and open this door. Treasure trove. Speak of the devil. Okay, so now our coin problems are taken care of. I also forgot that we have a tomb. We've drafted 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 dead ends in addition to the tomb. There's 25 gold in the tomb. We're going to get this treasure trove, and we're going to have like a crap ton of gold, which is what we normally do. So now we can afford the emerald bracelet, right? So the emerald bracelet, we could probably afford both, couldn't we? The treasure trove is going to be like 50 coins, and then the coins in the tomb, that we might just be able to afford both the emerald bracelet and the ornate compass. We should probably pick up the ornate compass, though, after this, because the emerald bracelet is like less of a priority when you still have 4 gems. Spam, pick up the gold. Spam it. Spam it. I wasn't doing this before, but now I know this is a thing. You can spam it. Spam it. I keep wondering about the treasure trove and the fact that there are these guys with the armor. But these are not kings. I keep thinking about the clue in room 46 about a king on his throne having a sanctum key. And I just, for the life of me, have not been able to figure out what that means or what room it's talking about. Maybe it's a room we haven't drafted yet. Maybe it's like the very last buried floor plan that we just haven't got our hands on yet. Oh, do I want to spend a key on this? We're going to be down to 2 keys if we do this. We're going to be down to 2 keys, but I do want to get the intelligence. Like, this is one of the things. The treasure trove is a continual source of potential clues and hints with these chests that have the notes and the memos in them. We have 6 dice still. We could spend some of those dice to really try to go for a locksmith. That's another way for us to spend gold. I really wish you could open these with a sledgehammer. That would make this decision a lot easier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to note this. I'm going to try to make a note of this here. We're going to take a screenshot and try to remember that. We'll just make a, I've still got this on screen here. I'll make a notepad of this. So hopefully as I'm alt-tabbing, I remember trunk in treasure trove. I just don't want to use one of my only 3 keys right this second, because I might need those for drafting doors. That's kind of an important thing still to keep our draft going. And I love keeping our draft going, guys. I don't want to give up on my draft until I absolutely have to, you know? Let's go back to the showroom, though, and get either an ornate compass or an emerald bracelet. I think it's the ornate compass. We still have 4 gems, and I think it's more important to have the ability to angle our floor plans properly, right? And then, so then we spend these 25, or we spend 50 coins and we go down to 29. There's still 25 coins out in the tomb which brings us back up to 54. We're almost at the spot where we can afford an emerald bracelet. But in the meantime, we can draft more dead ends. We just need probably 2 more dead ends, and then we'll be able to afford the emerald bracelet. So we take the ornate compass here. Now we go back to the treasure trove or the dining room. Not sure. I think I'd probably just go to the dining room. The other option would be to go to the library. We could from here go to the foundation, go back out, and actually go to the tomb and grab the gold that's there now, and then go to the library and draft from there and try to angle up the east wing. And then we're less likely to run into locked doors. I kind of like that plan. It also lets us potentially draft, I don't know, a vault or something. If we draft a vault, all our problems are solved because then we can just buy the emerald necklace and never worry about gems anymore the rest of the day. So let's do that. Let's turn around and head out to the tomb. Having the tennis shoes are so clutch. In almost any draft, being able to go from the foundation and back without paying any steps is so nice. But it's especially nice when you know you've got the tomb and you're going to be coming back here to get gold pretty often. So there we go, 54 coins. And now we can draft from the library, but we can also take a moment to check the library for its various, we're going to review some stamps here. And I'm going to update my screenshot stamp collection. Stamp collection of screenshots. Whatever set of words actually says the thing that I mean to say. We bought out the commissary, and the tunnel has been drafted for the first time. Yee! Secret, 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 secret tunnel. I am not looking in a new clue right now. After all the brain power we've spent already on Sigils and parlor games. If we ever get our hands on a gallery today, I want to at least have some residual brain power. All right, let's look at our stamp collection. Let's look at this again here. Well, we've solved Araja now, right? So the clues on this stamp are maybe not as important as they might have been, but I'll still take a complete set here. You kind of have to take like a top and bottom set of screenshots for some of these. Some of these stamps are a little bit tall. Nuance, man, it's got to be. What am I missing on the nuance stamp? Like, could we tell what weather it's supposed to be? There's kind of like some clouds in the sky, and it looks like you've got this relatively green environment. Like there's pine trees, there's like maybe a lake back there, and some hills. It doesn't seem like extreme. It seems like pretty moderate or temperate weather. I don't know. Morajai, the white sea of yore. That could be the next door that we open. Morajai, maybe. Those are birds in the air, right? The thing that made me think windy weather when it comes to Morajai were these little squiggly lines on the border. Are we meant to read weather into those? We know about Fen Aries. Pretty well acquainted with the details on the Fen Aries as well as Arinda. But then Arch Aries, this has got to be stormy weather, right? Maybe Arch Aries would be the one that we should try. Stormy weather and an industrial city in commemoration of the opening of 5th Zone Power Plant, the Contessa. And then with Vera Shores. I guess the thing about Vera Shores, that name, Shores, is it actually by the water? Because next to, like above the turtle's head and to the left of the lady, there looks like there's somebody in a little boat in the background. Right? So we're on the sandy shores here. And And then what's that in the very far background below the 10? It's just what weather would go with a sandy shores. You would think of like it's a tropical environment, right? Would that be heat? Wavy lines? I think it should be actually, right? Because we did talk about this already. The fact that the Lost and Found, right? Isn't it Lost and Found that has the wavy lines? And then you've got the moat here is spiritual. That's my only question though about, does this suggest spiritual? Like these people on the turtle, what are they wearing? Are they wearing like monk outfits? Is that what makes them spiritual? Or are they hunter-gatherers? I can't quite tell. Like their hats, is the lady holding a club? I feel like there's too much ambiguity on some of these. I don't know. At some point, hopefully, maybe today, we'll get a freezer and we can add that last stamp to our collection. Okay, that is all for the library that I want to do for now. Let's go ahead and see what we get offered for our room. And maybe we spend some rerolls here to try to get a vault. I don't know if we need that many coins, but it would let us go buy out the kitchen for what it's worth. If we're in the market for that, but I don't think we need to. We could take a laundry room. Does that really help us? I don't think I really want a laundry room. But it would help us with our key situation. It would help us with our keys. Drafting studio, LOL. If we take the laundry room, we could still get a vault later, right? We could take the laundry room here and we do what we've done before, which is... What have we done before? We actually don't really get to do as much as I was thinking, because what we've done before is we've had like 10 or 15 gems and then like 3 keys, a small amount of keys. So we swap keys for gems first, and then we swap coins for gems. So we end up with a moderate amount of keys and a crap ton of gems. And then we don't worry about the coins. But we can't really do that in this case. We can only really give ourselves a whole bunch of keys or a whole bunch of gems. And if we do that, then we're counting on picking up a vault in order to get the emerald necklace from the showroom. And even then, who knows if we're doing that? I don't think the laundry room quite does it for me. And I don't want to get one of these other rooms. I think this is a reroll. I don't want to get the Great Hall here. I think I use a die in this case. I'm just not... I feel like the laundry room just is too expensive. It would solve our key problems, but that's not good enough for me. I don't think it is. Because even if we solve our key problems, we still have a gem problem. I'm going to use a redraw here. Conference room versus aquarium versus ballroom. The aquarium is interesting. We have 48 stars right now, right? So if we take the aquarium, we go to 49 stars. We haven't skipped 50. So our next observatory would be that 50 stars, and we want to see that new constellation. So that's fine, but that does spend a gem. And I don't know... We don't really have enough synergies going on with the Starfish Aquarium to spend a gem. I think I'd rather just take a conference room here. And there's really no point in rotating the conference room. So we probably just settle for this. I think I just settle for this. And then If we happen to spread things, we have a conference room. Because now if we pick up an office, the office acts the same way as the vault, and we get that emerald necklace and gems are solved. I'll take a conference room here. It's fine. Oh, the Knight's Shield. The Knight's Shield can shield you from the aquarium. The ballroom is a little bit too... It's not in a good spot. Like, you need it in a spot in the house where you're able to easily walk back and forth between it. And over here, it's just too far out of the way. So, we'll take a conference room. And we will keep drafting in this direction. Any fruit here? Not this time. Okay, let's draft. That's a terrace, huh? It's going to cost us a gem, but then green rooms from there on out would cost nothing. Or we can take our coat check and finally get our crown. But I think I'd rather just take the chapel. Now, it is a red room, right? So we would have to pay a key and a gem to draft the chapel. So that's pretty... That's not so great. Maybe we should just take the coat check here. Because we can still... This is how we can get... Before we get our hands on an emerald necklace, this is a good way for us to generate gems. And it's not too far out of the way for us to be able to go check in our crown at the end of the day. I think I'll settle for the coat check here. We'll keep holding on to our dice. At some point, I do want to try to do some re-rolls for a veranda. But I think this makes sense. Let's take the crown here. Crown's been retrieved, and now we have to go back through the foundation. And we'll draft from probably the dining room. But I could see us going to the treasure trove, because we still have the one room on rank 5. It's just like a little more friendly to us. But the treasure trove door, we didn't try drafting from it, did we? So we don't know if that door is locked or not. Maybe the best thing to do is just draft through the dining room and see what doors are locked. Because we only have 3 keys so far, and we'd like to not spend... Oh, there's coins here. Because we drafted a dead end. And now the conference room is... That's right, we've had this interaction before. Stuff is going to go to the conference room now instead of the tomb whenever we draft a dead end. Huh. I mean, that's probably fine, but it is going to cost us a few more steps. It does make that a little... Yeah, the conference room now being here, because we took that coat check, we're going to have to come all the way back around to pick up our gold. But we only need 1 more coin to get our hands on an emerald necklace. In any case, we got to go back. Let's go back through the foundation. So we'll check the rooms here in the dining room. I might wait just a moment. Well, yeah, like the silver spoon could get us extra steps from this lunch, but it's okay. If we get double steps, we'll get it whenever we get our, if we're so fortunate to get enough coins to actually afford a silver spoon on top of everything else, we'll save that for the main course. Let's just see if any of these doors are locked. Okay, this does get us a security room if we want it. I don't really need a dormitory at this point. I think we're going to be more than fine on steps. So security room does let us finally buff our security keycard situation, which is probably what we should do. This does cost us 1 gem, but I'm hoping we'll be able to get some coins shortly. And once we get just 1 coin, our gem situation is solved. So I think this is fine. Security is okay. Still have 3 gems in our possession, and now I'll try doing the HSS login here in security, but I don't see why this would be different. Logging in from this terminal using this? Could it be? Yo, it actually is a different interaction because this is, it's not just Herbert S. Sinclair, it's home security surveillance. Bro, it worked. I was overcomplicating, and to think I almost gave up hope because I tried doing the right thing in the wrong place, the laboratory. I would have still tried it here probably. Yo, there's security footage from seven different years. This is wild. Home. And it hasn't been deleted? Is that true? There's, okay, so this is February 9th in the library, February 9th at the entrance, and February 10th in security. Is this actually going to play? There's a video file here. Whoa. No way. I presume this is Mary. Oh, and also Caleb Manning in the library. What's she reading? Or maybe writing? No, this is amazing. Are we going to get to see any more than just this very low resolution security camera? You see like one frame every 3 seconds or something. It would be Caleb Manning, right? What books are they looking at? I keep thinking we're gonna like transition into an actual cutscene. A la The Matrix. Okay, so Mary and Caleb in the library poring over notes. Sure. I feel like we could have probably made that cutscene probably about a third of the length. Because we didn't, unless there's a detail there that I'm overlooking. That didn't really show us too much. We could have cut that a little bit shorter just to establish the fact that our mom and presumably Caleb Manning were in the library. 1987. Is this the year of the heist? I might need to review some of my dates. Well, we can do that here. We can actually look. Maybe we'll do it in a moment because we can log into the email. No, I'm thinking of the admin logs. But there are also emails here that might help us with this. Let's keep watching. No, I want to establish my timeline first. Let me go to my notes and look at my security emails. Is this what? Because I think there is talk of. I would have thought that there is talk of the Mary and them, the Blackwater Brigade being on the estate, but maybe I'm just thinking of all the admin logs in the grotto. I'll bring up my notes here while I'm parsing through these. But the grotto, I think maybe is where I want to be looking. The secret logs that appeared to be deleted. Gene Ribbon, that was the login. It is 87. So they were here setting everything up in January or February and March of 87. And then I think later in July is when she suggests leaving those fake logs. And then when do they actually set August 27th? It's time to scrub these logs and for us to go dark. That's when they finally set in motion the plans for the heist. End of August, beginning of September. Was it actually September 4th that was the actual date? Is that the one that I'm remembering? Okay, so this is the year, this is the correct year of them getting their plan set up. So now the entrance hall. We've got security footage, recordings from these various rooms that are going to give us some sort of a timeline here of events. This is very cool. I don't see anybody in the room here yet. Aha. Somebody's coming in. Very slowly. Who is it? Is it also Caleb Manning? It's really hard to tell. I want to say it's a bald guy, but because I think Caleb was bald. Okay, I don't know exactly what that's showing us other than that he's carrying something out of the house. Okay. I wish we would... I kind of wish these recordings would be just a little bit shorter. We're doing it very dramatically here, I understand, but we're also not showing all that much, and we could condense the length of these cutscenes a little bit, I think. Let's see. Let me also just remind myself the picture from the safe house. The picture from the safe house here does show all three of them, doesn't it? Oh, the bald guy is actually White. Paul White? Didn't his name start with a P? It's either Paul or something else. That might be the bald guy. It sure looks like there's a lot of reflective... There's a lot of reflection coming off into the security camera. It's one of these two that's with Mary. They're part of the heist group, right? Let's see security. Mary with some sort of drawing? Is she holding something up to the camera? Yo, what? What? Screenshot? Are we... Is that supposed to be... Oh man, this is so weird. Seeing her looking into the camera here like this. But then what are we meant to... It kind of... What is it supposed to be? I actually have no idea. I thought at first it might be related to the 45 room layout. Like it could be sort of like the treasure map gives you a dotted line that eventually ends up with an X marks the spot. And it looked like maybe that was a path that you could trace through some set of rooms in a 45 room house. But I'm not really sure. That's a weird one. I don't know that or recognize that shape from anything else. Screenshot has been taken though. Let's keep going. There's a lot of... Oh. 1988 not found. 1989 not found. 90 not found. So there was a lot of this that was deleted. Maybe the rest of it altogether. Oh, okay. So we go from 87 to 93, but all the years in between have been deleted. And it looks like maybe even a lot of these have been deleted. What does the X mean? There's a whole bunch of Rumpus Room recordings. There's a whole bunch of... Wait a minute. This is us. This is us. 1993. Well, maybe. Actually, I don't know for sure. Because 11/6 is actually the day before we show up. Day 1 is 11/7. The X just means it happened at some point, but it doesn't necessarily mean... Oh. Somebody had offered an explanation in the comments. Now that we've solved the clock tower, I had decided to, I had my, couple of my trusted advisors check out a comment that I wasn't sure if I wanted to read or not. They gave me the go-ahead, and I did read it, and it was basically a comment that was explaining the in-game time system, which is something else that's not really explained anywhere, and if you don't really know the system, then you might not be able to get the sanctum key in the clock tower. You might not be able to figure out that you have to get to the clock tower before 1:30, the first time of that day. What the comment had pointed out, though, was that in a 24-hour period, there's no time keeps ticking away. So one day that we have here, like day 37, might actually span multiple days. You might go beyond 24 hours, and I think in most cases I have definitely gone beyond 24 hours. And so what I count as day 37 might actually include, who knows, 36 hours, 48 hours, however long this draft ends up going. Let me get a hydrate. However long that goes, that's why I think there's an X here, because it's all that we know is that sometime in November, let's just watch the footage though first, because this is the first time that we step into security, right? And then when we go to watch those Rumpus Room cutscenes, those are just going to be the Alzara cutscenes that we've seen before. This is a way for us to replay these in game. But of course, I remember this cutscene very well. I'm just not sure whether this happened on day 1 or day 2. But it was definitely during our first episode of drafting. Sure enough, though, the tapes have been recording. We have been surveilled, unbeknownst to us. I don't think we need to rewatch this whole thing, but who knows? Maybe there's a detail that I've forgotten about that I need to pay attention to here. Trophy room. Storeroom. Archives. Music room. Does it go through and show? No, it doesn't show every single monitor. Yes, that's me. Did we really point at the monitor like this? Yeah, I guess so. All right. So we have that. And then presumably if we do one of the Rumpus Rooms, that's just going to be the Alzara cutscene, right? Okay. I have gone through these on previous occasions during one of our recent notes review videos that I do from time to time. I'm going to skip through this because I don't feel the need to rewatch these right now. I've gone through these, though, sometime in the not too distant past. I feel like there's not... I don't know what to make of the cutscenes just yet, in terms of helping us make progress in the game. But they might be worth a rewatch again here at some point. What is this, though? This is before we got here. This is 11.6. So what was going on in the parlor room? Is this just one of the staff setting up the parlor game for us? Oh, it's the opening cutscene. This counts as the parlor room? They're giving us the opening cutscene. Okay. Interesting. Is this worth rewatching? I haven't rewatched this in a while. But I don't... Who knows? Maybe there's some details here that we need to look at. Look at again. This portrait is in the parlor room, isn't it? Is that why this says parlor?
I, Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and
Oh, this is being played in the parlor as well. This stuff I don't remember being in the parlor.
Simon P. Jones,
Miss Murray Bowl recital.
dear niece, Mary
Thursday Eve, August 30th.
my right, title, and interest in, and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above
Oh, this is the study, isn't it?
is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th
Kind of cool being able to recognize some of these rooms now.
estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that
Great Hall,
any
courtyard.
of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner.
Within a timely manner.
Fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
What was I gonna say? I was thinking of some... Gosh, I completely lost the train of thought that I was gonna go on there. All right, it's cool that you can replay these cutscenes from the security menu, but this this security footage, this new security footage that we'd never seen before, is it actually gonna go back to the game? Please don't tell me. Oh my god, that took forever to transition back. I thought it might be have frozen my game or something. This new footage though of our mom and the security camera, this one is really interesting. We've got a screenshot of this now. Let me pull up the screenshot here. Let me bring this up and we take another look at this here. What does this mean? It kind of feels like about the same height and width as the house, but I don't quite know. It's got to be connected to something else. Oh, I wonder if it's connected. Oh, you know what? It could be the safe house route. I wonder if that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the safe house train route. That's clever. We know about this already though, don't we? This is what let us solve. This is part of what helped us solve a new clue. But this was one more little nudge in the right direction there. If you were not sure. I get it now. I get it. Okay. Okay. So that's a cool thing to know about. At our point in the game, I don't know if it helps us, other than maybe we need to go review the Alzara cutscenes eventually. Maybe that's a thing that we need to do. We got it to work though. Nudge finally got there on the security room. Let's set our keycard settings to high. And from there, we can draft up the West Wing. Maybe. Let's see if this door's locked at least. It is locked. I will draft... Let's see if the room to the right of the dining room is locked first. Also locked. So... I just need one more coin. I don't need much more. I just need the one more coin. That's it. Almost any room with like dig sites, a dead end would spread gold, but to the conference room, so I'd have to spend a bunch of steps to go back to the conference room. But I'm gonna get those steps back presumably once I get the dining room online. But in order to get the dining room online, I do need to make it to rank 8. So we should probably go through the security room. Now, even if I solve my gem problems, though, I still need to get my hands on keys. So we have not procced our experiment at all today. Haven't done any experimentation, so we're not... because we haven't used our remote login yet. We could use it for the shelter. We could also use our remote login to spread some gold from the office. But then that spread would go to the conference room. There's, we can navigate this. We can keep our draft going for a while, but we do need to figure out what the best way to go about this. With 5 dice, we want to get our hands either on a locksmith or a vault would be good. Getting the vault first to make sure that you have no gem restrictions is pretty good, but you know, we need keys pretty soon as well. Either way, let's try going through security, because this is a room where I could spend some rerolls to try to get a veranda. And that would be the last of my gems. I would be spending probably the last of my gems there to get a veranda. But then I would probably have a metal detector. Or at least I would have some dig sites, and I probably would have my 60th coin to go buy that emerald bracelet. Aha! We could take a dark room. We could take a dark room and get a gem back. I said take a dark room. We could remove the dark room. Or we could take the garage and get a whole bunch of keys. I kind of forgot about the garage. That is interesting. It does cut us off from drafting up the West Wing any further. So if we were going to get a veranda, we'd likely have to go over to the treasure trove. Start drafting the East Wing. And it also takes us a little... It means we're not getting to rank 8 quite as quickly as we'd like. The other option is the boudoir. The boudoir does get you a gem and 2 dice. It also gets you 10 steps because you have her ladyship's chamber, and it gets you steps because you have your sleeping mask. So the boudoir is not a bad room by any stretch. I could see making a case for every option here. Removing the dark room, taking the boudoir, or taking the garage. The garage could contain a dig site. I don't think it's super likely, but we have seen it before. But even then, it's not guaranteed. Oh, you know what? There are a whole bunch of dig sites out in the tomb. I forgot about that. We should have dug up the dig sites in the tomb. I could have done that. It wouldn't be that expensive for us to go do that, actually, would it? We could go through the foundation. We've got the tennis shoes. It would be very few steps for us to go and dig up the foundation. So, not the foundation, but the tomb. And we would very likely get some coins in the process, wouldn't we? Here's what we're going to do, I think. I think we're going to take the garage because we need keys. The keys is the one resource here that I feel like we're going to be most constrained on. So let's take the garage. We've got an ornate compass. We should be able to angle things to draft the rest of the West Wing if we really want to. So we take the garage now, and we hope that we dig up at least 1 coin in the tomb somewhere. And even if we don't, what we could do, let's just take the garage. I think the garage is the right pick here. And let's see what the garage has for us. If it has a dig site, that might just make everything a lot simpler. No dig site, though. So, but we'll get our keys, which is the most important part. And now, we don't have the car trunk keys. But we could draft... What? How do we want to play this? I think we go back and we dig up the tomb first. I was thinking I might try to draft the room to the right of the dining room first and get a dead end, but let's not do that just yet. Let's go. It's not going to cost us that many steps here to go to the tomb. It is funny, we've been offered both the boudoir and the walk-in closet. We could have gotten both of those benefits from Her Ladyship's Chamber, but I think it's been the right. I think we made the right decision to pass up on each of those. Let's get our. We're hoping for at least 1 coin here, and then things will be on a good path for us. There it is. Boom. 1 coin. 1 coin. Well, 3 coins actually. And now we are set. We'll just do, obviously, the rest of whatever dig sites are here, because why not? But now our draft should be in a good spot. 5 keys and a key card with only so many rooms left in the house to draft. So everything should be golden. We're not picking up a diary key because we don't need it anymore. There is, you know, there's a world where if, well, I was going to say, you might trade in the diary key at the trading post, but I don't think you can get both. There might be some funky shenanigans that you can play with the draft pool to somehow get both a tomb and a trading post on the same day, but right now, I don't know how to do that. They are both outer rooms, as far as I know, so. Okay, we got good fortune smiling on us there to get 63 coins. Let's go back to the showroom. And we can finally pick up our emerald bracelet. Feels good to pick up both of those in the same day. Ornate compass plus emerald bracelet. Or at least I feel like so many days we've just been overflowing with gems. And it's like, I don't need the emerald bracelet. Finally, it feels good to really have a day where we're going to take advantage of that. Full advantage. Now, I think I will go from here to the treasure trove. I don't think it matters too much. We're still pretty healthy on steps. Although, the dining room... Nah, actually, I changed my mind. We're just going to draft from the dining room. I changed my mind. We can hear the doggos barking through the kennel, which is always a nice touch. For a second, I thought we were like way farther away from the kennel, and we didn't need. What am I thinking? I start thinking 2 different things, and my previous thought doesn't get finished. I was thinking we were so far away from the kennel. I was like, why are the dogs barking? And then I remembered, oh right, the kennel's right next to the foundation. No big deal. This is an interesting choice. We probably take. Actually, we probably take the pool. I'm not sure here, because on the one hand, it's between workshop and pool. On the one hand, I really want to make a burning glass so we can open this secret chamber in the tomb. But on the other hand, the pool has trunks that could be beneficial for our experiment. But is that really that important? Is our experiment really that important? The other thing the pool does is it gives us a door up into rank 7. If we take the workshop, we're basically saying we better get through the treasure trove and into the rest of the house. But we have 5 dice and we have an ornate compass, so that should be doable. Do we just take the workshop here? What are the chances of actually getting... Because the thing is, we take a workshop, but we still need a metal detector. Now, we already have a shovel and a sledgehammer, but we don't have a battery or a broken lever yet. I feel those are very likely to show up in the workshop. But maybe they're about the same chance as getting a metal detector. And we are running out of chances to pick up a workshop if we pass it here. I think I'm going to take the workshop, even though it does limit the doors that we have available to us for the rest of the draft. We still have 5 dice, and we still have an ornate compass. So we should still be able to draft quite a few rooms in the house and have some additional chances at picking up a metal detector, even if we don't get one here. And like I said, the pool is nice, but we haven't done a single chest yet. Even if we take the pool here, we're not getting an experiment proc. And even if we are, what do chests do for us? They get us coins and keys and gems, but we don't care about gems anymore. I take a workshop. And Metal detector? No, it's not a metal detector. All right. Well, that's okay. At least we have a workshop when we need it. Is there anything that we can make right now? I don't think so. We need a battery at least to do anything with the hammer or the shovel. So yeah, let's continue our draft. Just continue and see where things go. Tennis shoe proc is good. And we've done... Oh, and we still have this thing here. Do we open this now? I still... With 4 keys, I'm still just a little bit nervous. So I'm going to hold off. We could now take the chapel. Or we could take it out of the pool to get ourselves a gem. But then we don't really need gems anymore. So I could just take the chapel here. Now the problem is we still have to spend a key because it taxes us on all fronts due to our curse, but it does give us 2 doors. It gives us doors. We want these additional doors because now I have a room. Now I get to draft up the east wing and maybe get a veranda. The veranda is really the room that I'm most interested in, I think. Dovecote when you already have an ornate compass. I don't think I'd take either of these rooms here. The observatory is now much less important now that we have our emerald bracelet. I think I'd just bite the bullet and take the chapel. Because I'd rather do that than... I think I'd rather spend the key... I don't know. Would I rather spend the key? Spending the key is a big deal. But I don't know that I necessarily want to redraw to hope for... The thing is, we do have 2 east wings. But if I take an east wing hall, it's also spending the key. I was thinking to myself, we have 2 east wing halls now that we drafted or we added a floor plan from our Chamber of Mirrors last time. I believe we added a second east wing hall, but the hallways also tax us a key. So whether we pick a chapel or we take an east wing hall, it's the same cost. I think I'm just gonna take the chapel here. I don't care about the tithe at this point. And I don't care about losing a step. It's just the key that might come back to bite me. But I'm hoping that I can... We save our dice in order to be able to re-roll for verandas. That's what we're doing here. I want to get a veranda. Okay, so it does work the way that I thought. It doesn't take all my steps away. I just misread that last time. Let's keep drafting. That door's locked. Let's see if the door up above is unlocked. Nope. So we would definitely want to open this door first. So if we don't end up drafting the door below the chapel, it's not the end of the world. But at the same time, they're both chances for us to get a veranda. So I don't know. I think we're going to open up the top door no matter what, because we want to be able to draft into the rest of the house no matter what. Okay, the closed exhibit would normally be good for us, but we are having to pay the tax today, and I don't want to spend another key. Even though this does get me 2 security doors, we're still spending a key in the process. So I think this is where we do a reroll using the crown. Now that does... No, I mean, the floor plan rotation doesn't matter here because we're up against a wall. So I was going to say it takes away our ornate compass, but that doesn't matter in this spot. So even though the gems don't matter for us for drafting purposes, I think we still use our crown as a reroll. Right? I think it's important to save the key here. Dang it. What are they doing to me? They're really throwing the dark rooms in my direction. I think we redraw. I don't want to spend... I don't want the dark room here. I do have a knight's shield that I could light up the dark room with. But I still have to spend a key. And I don't want to do that. And this redraw is happening in a place where I could theoretically get a veranda. The East Wing Hall. This is when the East Wing Hall is gonna come back to bite me, isn't it? Do I spend another redraw here, or do I just settle for the observatory? If we want to keep this draft going, we've got to get our hands on some keys eventually. The observatory could have one. Clavis the key is a possibility. We ended up not taking that aquarium, so we're still at 48 stars, I think. Maybe I should just take the observatory. And then I can spend some, if I want to spend my dice to get a veranda, I can do that below the chapel. Just like spend all my dice there. This draft might be coming to an end pretty quick here. I would love it if we could get our hands on a metal detector, and the best way to do that is to get a veranda. It's just a matter of where do I spend all my dice? Because if I spend them here, it's so likely that we get offered either an East Wing Hall or some room that's going to cost me a key. Even though it gives me multiple doors, those doors are probably going to be locked, and it would cost me a key if I take a hallway like this. Which is why I should probably just take the observatory and see where that goes. Let's do it. Let's take the observatory. I'll hold on to my dice for now, and then I can maybe use those rerolls at the bottom of the chapel to hopefully get either a veranda or a locksmith. Let's take the chance. Maybe this gets us a key as well. The chance for a key from the observatory and the fact that we have a telescope to get us a second key. I did not think about that until just this second. Do we get the key? We do. Hell yeah. So we actually get 2 keys, which is excellent. I think this is Florealis, which I am okay getting, right? The Southern Cross, though, I'm not sure about. The Southern Cross, I think the veranda would not count as a room that the Southern Cross is going to buff. So I don't think I want to do the Southern Cross. This is Diamondus Minor. Oh, and here we have the Twin Trunks. Oh, interesting. So we're going to get our experiment to proc. We get the Slice, and then we get the Twin Trunks. I mean, we should be able to do this again, right? We get to do this again now with the telescope, except I have to leave and re-enter. Is that how this works? Or I just need to walk away from the telescope. And now we get a second key. Awesome. So the observatory ends up being an awesome pick for us. I don't think I picked the Southern Cross, though. Because I just want to... I want to give us multiple shots at as much possibility at a veranda as we can. And I don't think the multiple doors are going to help me. I already have an ornate compass to point things in a favorable direction. We still have dice. It's just a question of, do we draft... Let's see if this observatory door is unlocked. I think that helps us make the decision here. It is unlocked. And now we could take a boudoir. We rotate it and take a boudoir, as opposed to taking a secret passage, which is going to cost me a key. The secret passage would let me get a green room, but it's not on a wing. If I were drafting the secret passage in a spot where I could get a veranda at the other end, I might go for it. But here I think I'm happy to take 2 more dice. And we get some steps in the process, as well as a gem, but the gem doesn't matter. Probably shouldn't matter. It might matter for the freezer, so it's not nothing. But we'll definitely get the boudoir here and stock up on dice. That feels good. So let's just keep following this until we run into a locked door. And maybe even keep going if we run into a locked door. Nothing else to pick up in the boudoir. We get so many steps actually from this because it's we get the sleeping mask And her ladyship's chamber. Yeah, so that's very good for the steps count. Good. So, and we still have the dining room at some point. Is this door open? It is. Poggers. The office. We kind of need a T-shaped room here, don't we? If we're going to draft into both sides of the house still, which I would like to do. So I kind of need to do the reroll here. So we might as well take the lavatory out. Let's do that because there's no way we want to draft the lavatory today. This is not quite good enough. This is not quite good enough. I am going to re-roll because I want a T-shaped room here, but I'm not going to have... maybe this is where I should have taken the Southern Cross. Maybe I should have thought about the fact that I might want the Southern Cross online in order to give me a T-shaped room here that would point where I'd like it. Might have been a misplay. But we'll use at least one of our dice here. There's the courtyard. Unfortunately, I'm taking it in a spot where I don't already have a veranda. Now, who knows? We might get lucky and the courtyard gives us a metal detector. I'm not going to skip the courtyard in any case. It costs us a gem, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. We're going to take it. And we see if we get lucky. No metal detector. No metal detector. And that's one of our shots at a metal detector that is gone. I think I should probably turn around and go and draft this other room. Because I think it's this room below the chapel is the only shot that I'm going to have at a veranda, I think. I don't think we're going to get any other chances. The only question... Experiment successful. Experiment has been successful? The next 3 times you open a locked trunk. Wait, I opened 2 trunks already? Hello? What? That's news to me. What did I forget? What did I forget, guys? Locked trunks. I seriously can't remember opening a locked trunk anywhere in the house. Why did that trigger the experiment? Is it because it didn't, like, count the boudoir safe, did it? What in the world? That one definitely confuses me. I would have thought, because it says the next 3 times. Oh, I am such a dingus. The next 3 times you open a locked trunk. I was reading this as every 3 trunks that you open. That's so not what this says. This says the next 3 times you open a locked trunk. It doesn't say every 3 trunks that you open. Wow. One of these days I might learn how to read English. We'll see. It's a crazy thought that I might actually learn how to read the language. God damn it. Well, it's a good thing we tried that new experiment. It's a good thing we gave it a shot. 2 security doors as well is pretty cool. But if I'm going to get a veranda, it's going to be below the chapel, I think. We'll dig up these, we'll dig the dig sites. Am I? I don't need to dig them just yet. I'm going to actually go back. I'm going to go... Well, I mean, there's a couple ways you could play this, actually, because now we could go back to the entrance hall and open all our chests. Because there might be a bunch of dice in those chests, and we're going to get more trunks because of this experiment. Now, the experiment is only going to trigger 3 times. Total, right? The next 3 times you open a locked trunk. So that experiment has an upper limit to its ability to trigger. But that is okay. I'm going to go... This is kind of funky, but I think I have the steps. I can afford this. It would also proc if we opened this, I think, by the way. But we're going to go back to the entrance hall. And we're going to go ahead... Oh, that's right. Digging those dig sites would also unlock those security doors, wouldn't it? But I have a security keycard already, doesn't matter. Cat laser brain's getting distracted. Let's go back to the entrance hall and get our trunks. Because what I'm looking for most of all is dice. I'm hoping we get a whole bunch of dice, and then I'm just going to spend all those dice looking for a veranda. I can't think of a better way to try to get our hands on a metal detector. It could be in a closet. So closet is a room that we would be interested in picking up. But I think the veranda is just... It's so much more likely, not just for itself, but any future green rooms, if we happen to get a cloister. And that might be one reason to get a Southern Cross, is being able to draft cloister after drafting a veranda. Maybe even without a veranda, you might want to get the cloister. So maybe I do get the Southern Cross once we've expended all of our... Look at all these trunks. Once we've expended all of our... So there's just going to be a trunk that appears here as the moment I do this, right? There it is over there. Appearing out of thin air. Okay, I don't need gems, I need dice. But once we've expended all our dice, and we have to settle for whatever room that we're left with below the chapel. Then we might just go for a cloister to see if we get lucky anyways. No dice at all, really? Come on, man. Come on, man. So many trunks. Yo, a treasure map? Okay. Do I want the compass? I guess it's fine because I have the ornate compass. And a treasure on top of everything, huh? Over in the room next to the foundation, the laboratory. All right. I don't know if this matters. Does this make a veranda more or less likely if I'm drafting below the chapel? I think I might just not pick up the compass here, because I don't know if it actually helps me or not. I think there's enough of a chance that it doesn't help me that I actually leave it. I've already got the better compass. I don't need it. And I don't need all these coins. But I guess I might need them eventually because there is like a moon pendant still in the showroom. That was so many trunks in the entrance hall. New record. And now I know finally how this experiment works. Look at that. In any case, let's head back to the foundation. And we get to dig up a treasure, which I'm hoping is coins. I'm hoping it's coins, unless we pick up a study. Like, maybe we'll pick up a study, so who knows? I'll take whatever the game decides to give us. We'll be happy with whatever we get. Unless it's another Baron's Bafflers. Some extra digging time required here to break through the floor. Yo, we got both gems and coins. Nice. Okay. That worked out pretty well. So can I think I can afford both the silver spoon and the... That's cool. A hybrid coffers of Mount Holly. Look at that. that special little mini tomb that was below the laboratory. I wonder if our experiment... I'm not gonna... We have enough keys to open the rest of the doors. I don't need to do the experiment or the shelter to try to unlock the rest of the doors in the house, even though that's a fun thing to do. If I'm gonna do anything with my terminals, I would spread coins to the conference room, I think. But I don't think I'm gonna need that at this point now. I think we just buy the other things from the showroom, correct? Because now we can afford them both. And now we're just golden. Everything is awesome. Cool. Sweet. So now we just hope to get a metal detector. That's really all we're hoping for at this point. Let's grab our steps. Now that we have our silver spoon, we are more than golden with our dining room. extra 10 steps from the showroom, and then just double it all. 60 steps, baby. That feels so good. Feels amazing. All right. We got keys. We don't need to spend gems. We don't need... We can actually open the trunk in the treasure trove on top of everything. I forgot we do have the axe here, but that's fine. If we don't get to do the axe today, it's no big deal. Green memo, except it is within a pink moon trunk. And I think we have, we can check our notes and find out. But this green memo, which is handwritten, is this the first handwritten green memo we've seen? There is no realm that flies the white flag. I'm not sure I believe that. Because if I go to my previous treasure trove notes, I'm pretty sure I've done a summary here. Oh, I forgot I did this. As I was going through and looking at my notes off camera, I decided to summarize the rules that we know so far. And pink moon boxes contain alt memos. We know that to be a thing. So don't trust this one, right? Because I think Morajai flies the white flag. I think. Okay. Let's keep it going. And this is where I really want a veranda. Forgot we picked up a lockpick kit too. I really want a veranda. I'll use my... I'll take a dark room out of the pool. Happily. Out of here. Out of my game. Oh, music room. I don't need a music room now. I need a veranda. That's what I need. I could shield myself from lost and found, but I don't think that's gonna... It's rare items, right? It's stuff like the wrench and the telescope. I don't think it's ever gonna give me a metal detector. I spend dice. This is where we go for a veranda. Veranda or bust? I might use every single die that I have. Because these don't excite me. Looking for a green room. This would be a spot where having your buff to make green rooms more likely. That's the greenhouse, right? That would have been a nice pickup before this. 3 dice left. Like we could have gone to the rest of the house and gotten a study first and come back here, but let's keep spending our dice. Master bedroom. I don't need that at this point. It's nice that it's free, but I don't need it. Unless somehow the king on his throne is related to the master bedroom. I feel like if anything, the office would be that room because there is actually a king chess piece in the office. And I'm wondering if that's what that sanctum key clue is trying to point us toward the office somehow. But we've already done so much in the office with there being a red letter there. As well as the clue for the lowercase clue. Two more dice here. We could take a closet. The closet has contained a metal detector before, hasn't it? But I feel like it's much more likely to contain just regular items. I'm going to keep redrawing here. I think we go for metal detector. I want a metal detector. Oh my god, that's a gallery. That is a gallery, huh? We need to make progress in the gallery at some point. And it is a rare room. Should we take the gallery and try to spend a little... I don't know if I have the brain energy. I feel like I never have the brain energy for the gallery. Especially with the 2 that are left. I'm just so stuck on those. Or at least it's felt that way. But I don't get unstuck if I don't take another look at the letters that are in there. And it might be just a good idea to take the gallery here and take notes on every single letter that's available. What letters are actually options for the remaining 2 puzzles? That would probably be a good exercise, to be honest. And I only have one die left here. There's still a pretty long shot that I actually get the veranda on my last roll. I don't need the vault anymore, right? I'm not that desperate to get the axe. So let's take the gallery here, and we can take another look at it. We might not get our metal detector today, which would be a little bit sad, but we can take another, I don't know, we can take another long shot here. And I think for my own, at least for my own notes, going to cycle through every single letter here on each of these. And then that will be something that I note down for the gallery. Because I need to give myself some ideas. And I think the only way that that's going to happen for me is just see what letters are possible. Okay, so I've just cycled through the first, or through all the letters in this puzzle here. So I've got those for the record. Bavnan is not a word, as far as I know. Maybe it is an Eurasian. I hope there's not an Eurasian word that we're supposed to come up with for these. Don't do that to me, game, please. I still really don't know what to make of the fact that we've got all these red items. That's the only thing that I know, is that I've got a whole bunch of items that are the color red. And then they're duplicated or mirrored in the sky. And then there's a big giant letter P. I don't know what that gets me. Does it matter that the stop sign is upside down? Have you seen all the signs? New clue. Let me go ahead and take note of all the letters here for the infinity puzzle as well. All right, and there we have defacnit. No, that's a C right there. Yeah, I just have those now for my own recorded for posterity. And what do we make of this? I don't think I'm going to spend any time on either of these puzzles right now. We'll just take our gems, which might matter for our freezer that we may or may not draft. But we'll try to circle back here. We've got plenty of steps, and we should have, if I have brain energy, then we'll see about taking some time during the episode to actually mull over what our gallery might do for us. But in the meantime, I think we're left. I don't think there's really only one way for us to get a veranda, and that's to like hug the wall, go all the way up here to the upper west corner and come down. And that's like our last shot at a veranda. So the metal detector may not happen today. We'll see. I think there's only one thing to do though, which is just keep drafting the doors that we can. Do I take the Southern Cross in order to... The Southern Cross just opens up as many doors as possible for us. The Southern Cross does make the cloister more likely. And the cloister could be a place that maybe has... I feel like I've never seen a metal detector in a cloister, though, organically, without the help of the veranda. So I'm not sure what other way, what other rooms that we... How could we bend things? The closet, the attic. Like, if we were getting Draxus the Dead from the observatory, I think I would slam dunk that to try to get an attic. Because an attic would be probably a guaranteed metal detector. Otherwise, I'm not sure what room would do it for us. So we'll see. We'll just see. It could just show up in a green room. Like, we might just get a conservatory or some other green room where it might show up. So let's not worry too much about it. Let's just keep on drafting. See how things go. Do the dig sites here. Get our wonderful kennel proc. And which really doesn't matter because we already have a key card. But it's always fun to know the doggos are watching over you. Okay. There's our 50th star observatory. I think that's what we do here. Let's see what our... Because who knows? Maybe the 50th constellation, the 50-star constellation is like... It just gives you all the items that you don't have. And that's how you get your hands on a metal detector. Let's try it. Let's try and find out. 50 stars. We have arrived. It is time to see what is our new constellation that we've never seen before. What is this thing? Oh my god, it looks so gorgeous. The Inkwell. Whoa. You may spend stars to draw new floor plans. Whoa. Are you serious? Now, there's probably some limit to that. Similar to how the study only lets you re-roll up to 8 times. So there's probably a limit on any one particular door. But that is insane. Yo, we get to spend our stars to draw new floor plans. That is so exciting. Now, of course, this only applies today, correct? But if we do happen to spend, if we spend like a couple stars, then tomorrow we could just get this again if we draft a couple observatories. Yo, that is something. And this would be like a perfect spot to spend at least 1 or 2 redraws to try to get a conservatory. That's insane, dude. That is so flippin' cool. As if I needed another thing. As if I needed another way to make my decisions as complicated as possible. Spending stars for redraws. Yo. That might just be good. To just at least spend 1 to make sure that you're guaranteed to get to 50 the next day. I feel like I want to spend 1 here. Because I don't really need any of these, right? Except I do, like a closet is a shot. It is a shot at a metal detector. I could take a shot at a metal detector. But I also would love a shot at a conservatory. And like we said before, dice, keys, gems are probably still a lot more likely in the closet compared to a metal detector. I want to go for a conservatory, and I want to spend a star. I want to see, is there any special animation or anything that this does? You get a fun sound, and then you get an attic. Yo, that is so dope. Slam dunk attic. Let's fucking go. We can re-roll with stars. Dude. Please give me a metal detector. Yes. Yes. I was like, it has to be guaranteed, right? It has to be. The rest of these are probably not going to matter, but oh my goodness. I probably maybe I shouldn't grab some of these because of the moon pendant, but yo. Yeah, like, do I even want to take a battery? I guess a coin purse would be good for me. Do I even take a battery? The thing is, if we take a battery, we can craft either a jackhammer or a power hammer. Would one of those... We probably would craft a jackhammer, right? And then that could be a potential spot or a carryover for the moon pendant. Actually, I have a lot of cool options here for the moon pendant to pick up. So yeah, that's awesome. We'll take this. And we'll craft probably the jackhammer. So yeah, things are getting... Wow. Re-rolling with stars. What a new world we live in. We also live in a world where we've got 3 sigils solved. That's also fun. Okay, so at some point now, we have... Okay, cool. Let's just finish up the rest of our draft. And then we can go make a burning glass and we can see what's in the tomb. Our mission has been accomplished. whatever else we do today is icing on the cake. Do we take a music room here and just see what... I made this more common, right? We decided to make the music room more common to see what keys might show up. If there is indeed more major keys, like a vault key, because apparently we still need to get a sanctum key out of the vault somehow. Is there a vault key that hasn't shown up in the music room before? Why don't we take it and find out? We don't have to spend any gems on it. Not that that super matters. Prism key instead. Okay. Yeah, we'll take it. Like, it's probably just going to give us prism key, silver key, secret garden key. Those, maybe car keys. Those are the major keys that I'm thinking of, but I'm wondering if it would ever give us something like a fourth vault key. We have our prism key, but that doesn't work from a blue room, right? So we just use the lockpick kit here, and then we use our regular key. There's a cloister, but we don't really need that now, except, I mean, you may as well take it. If you get lucky, you get a shop and 2 more allowance that gets added. We're fine on keys, no matter what we do here. So the drawing room just gives you an extra redraw. So I think I take the cloister and maybe we get lucky by picking up some shop. The thing is, there are shops that dead end us, which maybe I would take that. At this point, maybe I don't care about getting up to the rest of the rooms. Like if I got offered a laundry room or something, I just add 2 more to my allowance and call it a day. Why don't we do that? And then we can think about whether we want to use... We would probably at least use a die at the cloister. Maybe. But we'll see what gets offered. Let's just take the cloister. And we get to take whatever we get from the dig sites. We get our flowers. Florealis. Florealis spots. Dig these up. Oh, yeah, that's right. The kennel. Woo! Steps galore. The metal detector is going off. Does it react to the gems? There's something else that it's picking up. Probably a coin. Here. Okay. So now we draft this door. And it's unlocked because of our kennel. Sure enough, there's a laundry room. Okay. Did we just finish off our day with 2 more to our already insanely large allowance? Or do we want to go for a freezer? Because that's 26 gems. It's not nothing. But the chances of getting a freezer are probably pretty slim. We'd have to spend quite a few redraws, I think. But we do have one here because we have the crown. So we could settle for the extra bit to our allowance, but it might be better just to go for a freezer. Try to take that chance at a freezer or some other tomorrow room by removing the gymnasium and re-rolling. We still have a die left that we'd like to use before our draft is over. I think we do that. I think we do that here. Like, our allowance is so big already. If we add 2 more to it from the cloister, fine. But I'm not going to lose sleep if we miss out on 2 here. 2 more allowance is no big deal. A rumpus room, on the other hand, is a big deal. A rumpus room. I had to skip one a couple days ago because we had our 20 dead end dream that I did not want to give up on. Paid off. This time I'm not going to skip it. We finish off our draft with a rumpus room. Which means we get another Alzara cutscene? Question mark? I always forget where the gold is. Does the gold even matter at this point? I guess we can buy stuff from the kitchen if we want. But we ain't running out of steps, I don't think. I don't think it's going to happen. What is going to happen, though, is I am going to take a restroom break, and then we will check out our next Alzara cutscene.
as it was foretold. I am awakened for one last time.
Oh my.
The sound of a dropping coin.
One last time.
You find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to impart to you one final vision.
Sure, why not? The train tracks. Yo, what the hell is that? Where the hell is that? A campfire by an infinity symbol. What? Where is this? Just like a log cabin out by a river?
In the dim, I see cavern walls of stone. A hollow lit by a sea of 1,000 burning stars.
Pretty lights. So many different colors.
I see a treasure buried beneath the cliff rocks.
Okay.
A black mirror hidden
Oh.
among the memories of the falling sands. And within the black mirror, I see a figure.
Simon, right?
Figure standing in sullen snow.
What? What were we picking up? Oh.
Of what I have told you, my young baron, I wish you to now know.
That was the cursed coffers.
Meet again some distant day. I will have nothing more to say.
Whoa. Alzara speaks for the last time? But he did say, until we meet again some distant day. Does that mean that the rumpus room is never going to show up again? Or does it mean that it's not going to show up for a very, 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 very long time? Or will we in fact find him somewhere else in the world? Because that cutscene, man, it probably would be a good time now to review every single cutscene together, just watch them all back to back, which we can now do whenever we want to in security, which is a cool feature. Probably won't do that today, but wow, that certainly is a lot to think about. There was the cursed coffers there in the snow. What does that mean? Does it mean that in order to make progress, we have to open those coffers? Does it, what else did we see? We saw a black mirror, the Orinda Sigil. And then we were in its reflection. Standing in the snow, catching a cold. I don't really want to spend any time on the gallery right this second. I think we're going to have plenty of steps to come back here if we want. I can't open any of these boxes in the treasure trove, can I? I keep coming through here and thinking that there's at least one of these containers that's going to open and hold that has some other secret for us. There was a whole bunch of... There was some cave, he called it a hollow, that was lit by a whole bunch of, like, Christmas lights, or Christmas-colored lights. They might have just been representing the various colors of the different sigils, the different flags of the different realms. They just happen to look like Christmas lights because there's so many different colors. Really, really interesting. So interesting. Before I do anything else, I want to make sure. Well, do I need the magnifying glass for anything else? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything else that I want to inspect today. There was this denoted in verse. There's this note in the music room that I still don't know what to do with. Denoted in verse, just I don't know what it means. But I don't think I have any other uses for the magnifying glass. We're not going to spend any time going through a new clue, because I think we're done with it. I guess I'm open to nudges. If we're not done with a new clue, feel free to nudge me to recheck it. But otherwise, I think we're just going to go ahead and make a burning glass. This is what we were aiming for, because we have a room to open. Room, some part of the tomb, whether it's a room, whether it classifies as a room or not, we'll find out. But we got our burning glass. And we'll also, why not, go ahead and construct a jackhammer, right? Because I think that's better than having like these separate parts scattered in your inventory that could be picked up by the moon pendant. And I think I want this as opposed to a power hammer. I can't think of any walls that I need to destroy. There might be more walls that we need to destroy, but I can't think of any at the moment. And I'm hoping that the game would still be, you know, we would still be able to get a battery pack and a broken lever, even if the jackhammer gets carried over to the next day. And even if it doesn't, it's only going to be there for one day, right? It's just, like, this is not that big of a decision. Just to make the jackhammer, have it ready when you need it, or have it as an option for your moon pendant. And then, can we make one more thing? We have the coin purse, but we don't have the lucky rabbit's foot. So I don't think we can make anything else with what we have left. We've already consumed the items that we would have needed to combine with the lockpick kit, even though I don't remember what those are. But I don't think we can make anything else. So we're good to go. So let's go. We are good to go, so let us therefore go. Go forth. And continue to think... Oh, we can't light these, can we? No. I think I tried this before, right? We must continue to think about the Alzara cutscene. Because it started in the train station, or within the train track tunnels. And then... what did it show next? It showed some weird room that had the infinity symbol, and then some statues, and then a campfire. Now, the infinity symbol is also an 8 on its side, and we have seen that in several different places. It's in that one picture in the gallery that we just saw a while ago. It's also in the classroom, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are on the walls in the classroom. The 8 is shown as the infinity sign. It also shows up in another spot in the classroom, in the geography grade 4, the chart in there that has the... is it the sacred circle? There's one of those corners on one of the charts that has an 8, I think, on the southern or the south pole. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with all that, but... once again, is that a room that we're going to be able to get to? I feel like these Alzara cutscenes are not... I really don't know whether they're supposed to be interpreted literally or not. What I do know is that I have some candles to light that I completely missed for who knows how long. But finally, we can open this wall. Oh, okay. There is not that much more to find, but there... oh my god, there is an upgrade disc. And there's a whole bunch more dice back here. Yo. Is this 4 dice every time we draft the tomb? Dude, the tomb is... they really lean in. They really lean into this, don't they? Die. Our 15th upgrade disc. That's awesome. It's not a buried floor plan, but it is an upgrade disc, which is cool. Okay. So, Excellent. Let's go and turn that in. Where's our nearest security terminal? There's one connected directly to the Foundation. So we can just go back the way we came. Do we want to spend any more... Do I want to spend any more time thinking about sigils? Or do we want to go to the safe house to open a sigil door? Let's just take a moment here. I'm going to take a moment and think about my sigils. Bring those back up on screen. But we at least nailed down the first 3 in our list. We know what those are. Does that help us enough with one of these others? Arch Ares, I'm confident about, I think, everything but the mode of transportation. For Kararika, I feel pretty good about snowy weather, but I don't really know, I'm not super confident on either the moat or the mode of transportation. Nuance, I thought I was confident in, but now we've tried some things with Nuance that have not worked. The green border doesn't work with either academic or industrial if we stick with aviation, and we've tried several different weather patterns. We could try for Morajai. Seems like it would be 8 rays. That would be the mode of travel. But we did think, because we picked up that Morajai box earlier in the Sanctum, it did suggest that most realms do... Most Morajai boxes were spread via port, as opposed to trains in the case of Araja. So could it be that most of these realms are supposed to be like the naval capabilities, ship routes, seaports? I guess it would make sense with something like Nuance, because with Nuance, you're dealing with an island, right? So it might not be all air travel coming out of Nuance. There could be quite a bit of the navigation that's dedicated to seaports. I guess Vera is one that we feel pretty strongly about, because we know that it has to be, well, we've got the floor plan, not the floor plan. We've got the pottery piece, the sigil fragment from Lost and Found. And that sure seems like that's a pink border. And if we know that Morajai is white, and we know that Kararika is orange, Arch Ares is yellow, Iraj is purple, like based on process of elimination, Vera can only be either green or pink. And it would make sense if it lines up with this one from Lost and Found. And then it also has the like turtles, the turtle travel, right? So we could try that. We could go and we could get the piece, the turtles of Vera. What am I talking about? The sanctum key that is in the safe house, right? And we could open up the Vera door and see if we could solve that. We've got plenty of steps, though. I don't need to make this decision right this second. We can go and we can do our upgrade disc. Let's do that first. Like, ultimately, we've got to find all the sanctum keys. It's just that find all the sanctum keys and open all the sanctum doors. Like, that's probably going to happen eventually, but I'm just thinking, is there any order of opening those doors that helps me more? That makes it a little bit... That makes my life a little less of a headache when it comes to solving... Because does solving other sigils first and ruling out other options for other sigils make whatever process of elimination that you have to use a little bit easier? I'm wondering. All right, upgrade disc. Upgrade disc. It's picking the cloister again? Seriously? It's enhancing the cloister again? It's not... It's actually replacing... It... Wait a second. It's actually replacing the one that we have. Which I guess is okay. Because we do have a crap ton of allowance. Lydia's been good to us. But we kind of don't need her anymore. It's just kind of not super exciting that we're upgrading a room that we've already upgraded. So this is like a side grade. Okay, what are they? Let's see what the upgrades are. Side grades. Cloister of Joya. Permanently add an extra 5 steps to the main course. Permanently add an extra 5 steps to the main course for each kitchen, pantry, or furnace that you draft from this cloister. Kitchen, pantry, or furnace. That feels like okay, but steps is not usually a concern for us. Cloister of Dauja. Gain 2 stars for each room with an animal that you draft from this cloister. Okay. We know we've got doggos in the kennel, and we know we have a hamster in the bunk room. But does the bunk room count as 2 rooms? So we would get 4 stars because we have 2 rooms with a hamster in it? What other rooms count? Does the aquarium count as having fish? Are there fish actually in the aquarium? But I don't know what other rooms would count here. What other rooms have animals in them? We were talking about this before, like, I don't remember there being that many live animals in any rooms. In hardly any of the rooms that we've drafted. What's the last one? Find 8 dirt piles. Find 8 dirt piles in each room with a fireplace you draft from this cloister. This is the cloister of Vea. So, because she's the chimney sweep angel, you get dirt piles from the fireplace. The dining room has a fireplace. The den has a fireplace. What else? Does the furnace count? Is that a fireplace? How many rooms have fireplaces? I would like to be able to look at my room directory. I don't think it's going to let me. If I press R, it's not going to do that. I don't think I can pause it at this point or back out. And I'm a little worried about pressing the escape key. Like, would I miss out on the upgrade somehow if I tried to do that? Okay, I pressed the escape key and it did nothing. So we have to make our choice now. I think I do the cloister because now we really are interested in upping our star count by, like, every time that we draft, we've got a chance now, especially the closer we are to 50 stars, the closer we are to get, the more chance, the more likely it is for us to get this well ink. Is that what it was called? The ink well? Because presumably, if you're at 51 stars or 52 stars or 53 stars, well, who knows how the game is going to do it, but I would want it to have an inkwell plus the slice, an inkwell plus twin trunks, that kind of thing. But who knows how it's going to break down, how it's going to break down the constellations once you get above 50. I think I'll go with Dauja. These other two are like, whatever in my mind. So, at the same time, you know, I guess I would want this instead of our Lydia. Like I said, our allowance is so ridiculous now. But it also seems funny to me that we're upgrading a room that we've done this before with the spare bedroom, but in that case, it was kind of just a strict upgrade. This one, not so much. But it's still okay, I guess, because the Lydia effect is just less and less exciting the more allowance that we get. So Cloister of Dauja it is. And we'll see how that goes whenever we get our next cloister. So then from here, I think we will head back to the safe house. Let's go ahead and grab that other sanctum key, and I think I will use it to open the Turtles of Vera. I still have my notes on my screen here. I think my Turtles of Vera is the one that I feel most confident about. Like, it's just a matter of picking the right weather, I think. Because it's got to be turtleback travel, right? Like, like, why would they have so many obvious turtle clues if that's not the turtleback travel realm? Hello? That's got to be it. It's got to be. So let's go. Let's go and grab it, and let's open that door. And we're going to trust that the game is going to be good to us, and that we're going to get more. We're going to be figuring things out eventually with the game, and we're going to get more Sanctum keys. We're going to make it happen. We're going to get them all. It's only a matter of time. Okay, I think we know now what to do, or we figured this note out finally. Took us long enough. Was there anything else here? I think we've scoured the safe house on a few different occasions, and I don't think there is. Oh, here is the interesting. We can't do anything with this gramophone, but that is here, which we just saw earlier when we replayed the opening cutscene. I had forgotten about that. Being down here. We've done this. Castle. 6 add 6. Tor lore et. Don't know what it means yet, but we at least have the message. We seek what's in the shade of truth. Don't know if that has any secret meaning to it. We've looked at our map for the Royal Museum several times before. Don't think there's anything new to glean here. But here's our Sanctum key. I think we're going to finally use this. And this note I did reread off camera. And I don't think there's any new clues here. Crown of Arinda will finally return to Oris. Finally return to Oris. And then, unless there is actually a train that's going to be coming to pick us up at some point, I think Platform 8's main use is just the train metro sign. And we know what we have already done with that. So we're just, Royal Station. The missing L, does that mean something? Music here in the safe house is awesome. The music is a really underrated aspect of this game. It's because it's just, there's so many times when it's not present, like most of the game. I feel like you're in most rooms that you're in, there's just no music, and you're just sitting there pondering your draft thoughts. But then when the music does finally show up, it's so good. Okay, so the door that we want to open is Vera, which is the puzzle piece. And once again, it is deviating slightly from the order that's on the mantle. The mantle has the puzzle piece 6, but it's number 7 here. But that's the one we're going to unlock, I think. I feel more confident about that than I do Morajai, because I'm not sure that agriculture is what goes with Morajai. And I'm not sure what weather really goes with it. I feel like I have the most variables nailed down when it comes to Vera. So that's the one we're going to try. Puzzle piece, right? Puzzle piece. Let's do it. Let's do it, and then we got 3 more Sanctum keys somehow, somewhere that we got to come up with eventually. Let's see if we can make it, though, our second success of the day. If our moat is spiritual, that's the pizza slices, right? So let's lock those in. The very last one. And then we want turtleback travel, right? That's not the one. Why did that spin the bottom? Hello? I want... Oh, this changes the style of weather. Our first initial guess is wavy lines, because that's what's on the clock tower fragment. Or sorry, lost and found. So we need wavy lines. Not rainy lines. Not zigzag lines. Wavy lines. Now we want turtleback travel. That's horseback. That's trains. That's aviation. That's camels. There's our turtleback. And now we just want pink, which is our... It's like our stair... Oh, I skipped past it. It's our stair-step waveform. Stair-step waveform. There's like an engineering term for this type of a waveform that I am not remembering. Cat Laser Brain, why is there a black zigzag line here? Why are the rest of these like white, but this one's black? Is that just a visual glitch? Okay. I feel like this is my best guess at this. Yes. Excellent. Okay, awesome. So heat, wavy lines was correct for Vera. Excelente. Let's take a screenshot of that. Excelente. Get the puzzle piece in the frame, and we're good. I mean, the puzzle piece is up here as well. What am I thinking? I was thinking get this puzzle piece in frame, but it's on the damn sigil. And what do we have over here? Another Morajai box. Okay. Okay. If it's another allowance token, one of these Morajai boxes could have something different than an allowance token, right? Could be something different. Like a microchip. Pink it is, though. Pretty in pink. We got our little desert tent over here. And a turtle. Turtles of Vera for the win. Vera Express. Moraven. 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 Then I gotta go back to my classroom lessons. Ven means the end of. The end of Mora, as in the end of the earth? Because is Vera... Where is Vera located here? Vera is... I mean, it's kind of at the end of the earth. It's like an island out here in the... I don't know if that's what that stamp is supposed to mean, or this postmark. Is there a date here as well? I don't think that's a date. 225.10.166? Not sure. Despite my prejudice against Mother Nature, I own that I have deeply loved my time here at Vera. The memories of the youthful trip I took here with my brother have been relentless, and as I have gotten older, I find less and less occasion to recollect on such trivial pleasures. Is that why there are VHS tapes of the Turtles of Vera in their bunk room? One thing I do remember vividly, which has not lost a single speck of charm, are the famous turtles. Each visitor of Vera, upon arriving, is lent one of these hard-shell friends for the duration of their stay, to serve as both steed, guide, and companion. That seems... wow. I'm just thinking of the logistics. How many turtles do you have around that you're able to loan out to visitors? Maybe you have a very, very strict visitation or tourist policy. You don't allow that many tourists because there's really not that many turtles. I'm still under the spell of island life, even if the weather here is much more severe than it was on Morajai. Now, interestingly, this postcard, on initial glance, is not giving me... It's not giving me an idea of what order, if we're ordering the islands in the room 46, as I thought we were going to do by looking at these postcards, so far it's not giving me that order. So maybe my hunch was wrong, that you're not actually going to have enough. Or maybe the clue here is that he just came from Morajai. Maybe there's a slight little clue in the wording that says, hey, I just came from Morajai. Because that's why Morajai is mentioned here. Or it just is that Morajai came before Vera. It might not be immediately before, but it was just somewhere before before Vera in the relative ordering. So there is a clue there. Okay, and maybe when we put all the postcards together, it will make sense. Now, do I have the brain energy to figure out a Morajai box? A second one. Oh, look at this. The variation. While Morajai boxes were never as popular in Vera as in other realms, pink tiles were eventually introduced based on the Veran people's devout respect of the sacred circle. When these tiles are pressed, all adjacent and diagonal tiles rotate around the pressed tile. The sacred circle. Maybe the sacred circle is nothing more than just something like a mechanic built into these Morajai boxes. Okay, what does orange do again? I frankly forgot. I forgot. Does orange do anything? It probably has to do with getting next to something else. Like if it's surrounded by... I think it might... was this the majority vote? So if you get it so that it's surrounded by 2 pink tiles, then it would turn into pink itself. That is what it is. Okay, so maybe this is not too hard. Could we do this pretty easily? Could we do this easily? Could I have actually... I'm sort of like haphazardly doing this here, but could we... There we go. And now... it's not gonna just work just yet, unless I do... I want it to just work. Please, just work. Just work! Dang it. I'm really not putting hardly any brain power into this because I'm, like I said, I want it to just work. But I think I'm gonna have to. I might be stalled. I might have reached a win or a no-win situation. I'm not sure if I can win from here. There we go. There we go. I sort of just kept pressing buttons until it worked. I don't feel super accomplished on that one. So I guess, you know, I guess I get another allowance token for my low effort. Sure, 67. 67 allowance. It's not a microchip. It's not a microchip. So, yeah. So, okay. It is at least one more certainty. We can now nail down that we have, with certitude, solved Vera. This is, in fact, pink, as we suspected. So we can give that pink, hot pink color here. And we can do, we know it's spiritual. We know it turned out to be wavy lines. And turtle travel. So that's all good. We just got to work out the rest. I don't know what we're going to do about nuance. There's too many other variables that I'm not sure about when it comes to nuance. So I'm not going to try anything yet. We got this trunk in the treasure trove. We took care of that. I'm not going to do anything else there. Am I going to do anything else, though, in my house before calling it a day? I think the only thing that I have left that I want to do is just check in my crown, which I still have, right? I don't know, I would have lost the crown for some reason. But we check in the crown, and then we call it a day in the break room, which is pretty much what we always do. I don't think I want to call it a day in the planetarium, because at 49 stars, I want my next observatory that I draft to give me the inkwell, because that is such an amazing ability to just kind of keep us around that 50 star mark and get those additional rerolls. That seems so awesome. So let's do that, and then we can kind of talk about what to do next, because now we need to find more Sanctum keys, and I'm really not sure how to do that. I'll just put it out there once again, what I've already said before. We're at the stage of the game now where I am open to nudges, especially if they're put in spoiler tags, and I have the choice to read them or not. I'm open to nudges, especially ones that are like pointing me to go and revisit a room that I've already visited many times, and you know, like it could be that we're at the stage of the game where I have all the information that I need and I just need to put it all together. That could be the case. But like, I know that we have one room that we have not drafted yet. We have finally drafted the tunnel, but there is still one room, room 8. Oh, actually there's 2 rooms, because we have a floor plan that I haven't found yet. That's one room that we still have to draft, but we also still have room 8 that hasn't even showed up for us. And because somebody had hinted at, like, maybe revisit the gallery, and if you can solve the gallery, that will net you some progress. I'm wondering, is it possible that room 8 would not even show up until we've solved the gallery? Don't answer that. Don't tell me that for sure, but I do wonder that. I wonder if that's a prerequisite for getting room 8 offered. Because then, you know, what else are we aiming for? We have sigil keys that we're trying to get. And then I guess we just have trophies that we're going for. We have our bullseye trophy, our logical trophy that it's going to take some grinding to get to those. But we're still 2 rooms away from the explorer's trophy. 4 away from, we actually have 4 sigils now, which is cool. Dare Bird, I think that involves starting a second file. Cursed mode, that might involve starting a second file, or it might involve opening the cursed coffers. And that brings me to the subject of the shrine, which we did discuss a little bit before, but I guess that is, the shrine is one room that we want to pay a little bit more attention to because of this clue from Her Ladyship's diary. And the fact that Her Ladyship's diary points us, or seems like it hints heavily at having some sort of room in the outer room that actually has multiple doors and is not just a dead end. We know with the trading post, there's like that secret chamber, and with the tomb, there's like a whole nother interconnectedness that it has to other parts of the house. But otherwise, these are just dead end rooms that you get when you draft in the outer room. But being able to get this Blessing of the Monk online, and maybe drafting, who knows, the antechamber, or just any old 4-way room out in the outer room, and giving you access to other doors. Could there be secrets there that we need to find? Maybe even a microchip that's hidden. Like, I feel like we're on the cusp of making some serious additional progress, but I'm definitely feeling like there's less and less low-hanging fruit, if you know what I mean. So if you do have any nudges regarding, there are some additional coins here, but they're not going to matter to us. But if you do have additional nudges regarding rooms that I should revisit, feel free to leave those with a spoiler tag. And yeah. Are there any, I think I still just checked the crown. I don't think there's anything else. The ornate compass is good. Emerald bracelet is good. But I love that crown. And it's just that it's so hard to get otherwise. The crown is a little bit out of the way. Everything else we can kind of just put in a little bit of work to get our hands on those other items. So yeah, so we're shooting for more trophies. We're shooting for more sigils. We're shooting for a shrine. But otherwise, we've gotten a lot of our... We crossed off the security list. The security room from our checklist. We still need to ace the classroom final. That's a big one. So there are definitely some things to do. I think my short-term goal, I would love to be able to get all the sigils. Like, I don't know at what point we would say... Like, at what point am I going to say I'm done with this game? I am a completionist, but I don't know that I would record... I don't know that we can keep recording it here on the channel forever and ever. So at some point, there needs to be some sort of end game, I think, for us, realistically. Maybe we could stream some future drafts, like, after we solve all the sigils or something, or I'm open to some nudges as to what end state you all would like to see, presuming it doesn't spoil anything. Like, we're at that stage of the game where I'm interested in hearing what you all think, and within the limits of keeping me in the dark as much as possible. But I think that's a good place for us to wrap up this installment of Blueprints. Nothing else that I want to accomplish today, even though we could go mull the gallery over. I think I will do that either as a special bonus video, or I'll just do it myself off camera. I at least have all the letters from the two paintings that we haven't solved yet, and just got to keep mulling it over. We'll figure it out eventually, maybe. But let's go ahead and call it a day there. We've got our moon pendant. I could go buy the Morning Star from the armory, but I want to be at 49 stars going into tomorrow. I think that's a good spot to call it. Get that 50-star inkwell once again when we start day 38. But we got our last Rumpus room, our final Alzara cutscene, at least for a while. Oh, we actually drafted 3 puzzle rooms, huh? And is this our first perplexing house? Perplexing shopping center. Parlor, break room, and gallery. Interesting. Fun little thing there. I did really enjoy this draft, though. The secret that we found in the planetarium was cool as well. What did it do again? Oh, when you draft a planetarium, now you get dice, right? Is that for all in the future or just tomorrow? I don't remember for sure. But yeah, excited to see how things are going to go on day 38. More treasure trove memos, enlightening things. We have a new cloister to draft out of now. And yeah, and we'll keep mulling over that stupid nuance sigil. Maybe I'll have some breakthrough revelation and we might get a 5th sigil solve. We'll have to figure that all out next time. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.